We should also explain what information accounts for your events are.
Hello, plushie. Oh no, where did Maeve go? You disappeared. Maeve disappeared. Oh no. Hello, plushies. Welcome back. I'm Velvet Loon, your Looney Moon Banana, but you can call me Vel. How is everybody doing today while we wait for Maeve to get back? Let me make sure that my things didn't work also. Thank you for the... Maeve is here. Okay. Ankara bonk. Dude, 165 stream streak is about 130. You guys beat me so much. Ah, I can't believe it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh no! Man. Man. Alright. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. What? Okay. I see the redeem. Give me just a second. I need to fix. We need to get Mev. We need to get Mev. So I'm gonna... I mean, we can also just have your Fugi. Would you rather do Fugi? What would you prefer? The scuff. Tis unavoidable.
Yeah, no, it's 100% a skill issue.
It's up to you. You... Do regular Sun, I think. Hey, Soup. Wait, I hope you're all having a good Monday, that the week has started off right. As we work through the scuff. Let me see. There we go. It works fine when me and Moku do it. I do understand. But there we go. We got Maeve. We got Maeve now. I'm gonna move. Actually, while we're doing that, let me put me in my usual spot. We gonna make you bigger. There we go. See, it's like you're here with me. Oh, you can't. Ah! Son of a bitch!
All of the stuff. He's okay. But yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the little models that get finicky. Maybe it's something about just the nights we collab. Maybe the universe just says we aren't allowed to use models together. Too many thoughts in one place, you know?
It is, you know, we have overpowered things.
The
There
thought
we
god
go.
said enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hi Mutant, hi Sinful, hi Soup, hi Switch, hi Ace. Trying to get everyone that I see.
We also had a Duke and Vox.
There was a Duke who's lurking.
And...
Yup. We have Vox. I think that covers everyone who said no. Mundane. We had Mundane earlier.
Oh yeah.
I think that covers everyone from chat.
Did everyone have a nice rest of your weekend? Was it good?
So the novel is sapphic in the gay way. We use gay generic. We will say specifically men love men or women love women, but gay is our generic term. But it is a sapphic specific novel.
It is very sapphic.
I honestly
Mhm.
don't think it could be, from what I could tell, I don't think it could be more sapphic. It looks like it has very much that soft, like, oh, let's snuggle. Oh, she has beautiful flowing hair.
Yeah, it looks really good. Oh my goodness, thank you also. 165. Thank you. Such a goat. But yes, the women. Because, I very much also enjoy the women. They're so pretty.
The women, the men, the
beautiful.
NBs, the everyone.
It genuinely is everyone. That's what the pan badge means. I don't care.
I technically fall under pan/omni, but I like the bi flag better. I mean, I like the bi flag better than the pan, but omni is similar to pan, but like the gender does affect how you're attracted to people. Like I am attracted to women in a different way than I am men.
And that is entirely valid and okay.
Mm-hmm.
This game that looks like it could be queer in the sheer game section. Oh, I'll have to look at that later. But yeah, it should be good. I doubt we're gonna get through all of it tonight because it says
it's at least double what your regular streams are. So I think we'll get through at least half. We'll get into the story.
Yeah, we'll get a good way through, and then go from there with what we want to do. But there was a request to give love to the chat. So Hank, hello, you're here but tired. I hope moving went well, and you're just in time. You're just in time to give love to all of you, all of the most wonderfulest plushies. Such a great, supportive community that I genuinely appreciate from the bottom of my heart, and I care about you all so much. So make sure you take good care of yourselves, drink lots of water, which I know you did today, and I'm so proud of you. So keep being your best selves, okay? Mwah! Mama Soup is also in the room with you? Oh, interesting. Interesting choice, Soup. Got more than half done. You finish the rest tomorrow? Hopefully this place has power and that things get much better, Tank. 7 streak, let's go. Enjoy your extra moons. I appreciate you being here. Alright, we are gonna hop on over here, and I think it's actually fine. I think that's actually alright. No, actually no, it's not fine. I don't feel comfy. Give me a second. I'm gonna just swap and then turn off that. There we go. It's gonna be a little bit weird proportion, but that's okay. Let me get Mate back on. Yes. You have disappeared, but I will have you re-up here. No. Hello. What?
No,
How
it is the invisible.
What the fuck? I swear I was like hovering over things and I don't think I can handle this much scuff. I'll be real. It's getting bad. I'm trying to just like adjust things. It's like, what if I just like touch the entirely wrong thing? I'm like, what are you doing? That's not what I said.
Yeah, by the way, quick reading. There are the two main feminine protagonists, protagonist, antagonist. Did you want to be the human or the vampire?
I think
we don't have a choice. If we don't have a choice, we could technically go off height because one has been specified to be a specific height.
You were the headpats mutant. I was gonna say it's probably more fitting for you to be the vampire.
I do think so. At least, like, demon, vampire, similar thing.
Mm-hmm. Plus, and despite everything, I am not vampire.
Yeah, you are not the vampire. You may be Beth, but not vampire. Well, yeah. Shuffle. I need elbow room so I can see, so I can read.
Oh, let me share my screen to you. Yeah, let me give to you.
So I can read at least more in advance and less delayed.
Yes, I meant to do that. Anyway, yes, it is. It is indeed. All right. All right, are we ready?
Sorry, I just silently screamed because I keep
Also-
bumping my knee against my desk.
Oh no. I just realized it's not
He's
giving
okay.
them music either. There's some lovely background music. There we go. There we go. That should be. I should have thoroughly de-scuffed at this point.
It appears
Fingers
to be
crossed.
Yet. That is the hope, at least.
I mean, Switch, if there's not biting, I will be shocked. Like, I will genuinely be shooketh if that is not the case. It is a vampire love story. You know?
Also, I'm looking at this main title screen. Why is she stroking her own throat?
Because okay, so like that actually makes sense to me because it's been like, hey, no, come here, here. She's emphasizing. She's emphasizing. You know.
I was confused at first. I'm like, do we have? Because they did tag a specific artist, so I don't think it's AIR. But I saw it for a second. I'm like, is that intentional? I think it is, but like,
yes.
Is
that is saying, please bite me here.
Bite here spot to bite.
Yes. It is being very deliberate and please. Am I thought so. Okay, hang on. I'm just gonna adjust things super duper fast again because I can actually move over more and make me a little bit bigger and then that way. There. Okay. That's better. Okay, let us begin.
Lettuce. Do not vocal stim that. I have a specific lettuce vocal stim is not.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Do you want to start off or you want me to?
Let me see, because I did read the names. Let me see. I think
This is
I
Henny.
think this is the maid. Henny,
Yeah.
I think I can do because the maid helps you would be Mike in this case. So I believe that I will take on any other roles that are talking to you.
Okay,
So.
sounds good.
Faster, Mike, faster. You have to keep moving or else. Oh god, they're gaining on us. Do you want to narrate as well, then?
I'll narrate for myself. Mike ran through the forest as quickly as her legs would carry her, which, given how exhausted she felt, was not very. She tried to obey Henny's orders, fearful both of letting her friend down and the shadowy figures who pursued them, but her body refused to listen. Her legs felt numb and insensible, as unfeeling as marble, but far, far weaker. It was through nothing save sheer force of will that she was able to keep going, for all her strength had already abandoned her. Though Mike continued to run, staggering blindly through the fog, she feared it was already a lost cause. She was but a young woman, slender, and, while not very short, quite unaccustomed to exerting herself. She was not like Henny, who spent her days on her hands and knees polishing the floors and blackening the fireplace. Mike's fingers were white as ivory, while Henry's were red raw. Henny's, were red raw through demanding often physical labor. Even God,
I also read that as Henry the first time I was reading through. I'm like, Henry? Henry, okay. No, Henny.
Thank you so much for the follow and welcome in, Demon Goddess. You are now a plushie. If you'd like to set yourself up as a little guy, we have a selection of Pokemon and other cute animals to choose from. You can be along the bottom of the screen. Thank you for the head pads, Tank. There was a request for you to also give praise, maybe, but that is entirely your call if you would like to.
I am more than happy to give praise. Would you like to do it first, or would you like? Had you already done so for Switch, or would you like?
I haven't. To go first? I haven't yet. I'll go first, and then you can get it after.
Okay.
And yes, you are absolutely now a plushie, and it is unavoidable. I'm glad you are happy. Switch, you're such a good druppy, aren't you? The most adorable, bestest druppy there is.
Yeah, you're such a good druppy for us, aren't you, my darling, darling Switch? You're here for all the sapphic things today now, aren't you? Letting your lovely, lovely flag fly. We're happy to have you here for Pride, my lovely druppy.
Mike's lungs, meanwhile, were straining from the agonizing effort of running. Never before had she known the act of merely existing could be so exhausting. I'm glad you have no regrets, Frisk.
Careful,
Honey,
careful what you say, Demon. I do know a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people are willing to spend their points on other people, and the loony economy is quite prosperous.
It really is. It truly,
Mike.
truly
Oh,
is.
sorry.
You're good.
Mike, please, you need to hurry. Quickly, Mike.
Henny reached back. Oh, I guess that should have been you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Henny reached back to take a hold of Mike's hand, her coarse, short fingernails digging into Mike's palm. Henny was gripping it so tightly it hurt, but Mike knew. Should she lag behind, she would find herself a far greater pain than this.
Mike recalled how her father had looked back in their carriage, his eyes wide and his face unusually pale. Mike had never seen her father look so scared before. He was a tall, imposing figure of a man, dashing even in his early 50s, who was accustomed to issuing orders, not receiving them. Mike had thought her father immovable, much like the oak tree which shielded her family's mausoleum, a tree which stood there for longer than the crypt itself. I have bonk hammer at the ready to defend yourself.
I don't know if you can defend yourself from us.
Double TV is a very cold blasphemy. Well,
It is Pride
you
Month,
know,
so I think the
it
double
is.
team is fair.
it absolutely is very fair.
Also, you come to polyamorous people collabing, and you don't expect it to get flirty and very, very cool. No, we'll flirt, fluster anyone around. Yep.
Mm-hmm. To Mike, her father seemed like a force of nature, one which was impossible to argue with or get the better of. This supposition had turned on its head earlier that night, however, in a mere handful of minutes. For all his bluster, Mike's father was only human. He was made of flesh and blood, just like Mike. When he cut, he bled. Well, Brave is just one of them. If it's two, this will happen. Brain fry. Well, maybe Pride Month, but next month is Wrath Month. I'm making a reference that may go over people's heads. I don't know why July is Wrath Month. I'm sorry.
I don't know why July specifically is Wrath Month. I assume they're talking just general, like the deadly sins in general, or they could be talking about the anime Seven Deadly Sins. Maybe. Maybe
Right,
after Pride you
because
fought Wrath.
that, you know what? I didn't even make that correlation. I was like, Wrath, huh? He had bled a lot, in fact, all over the plush, upholstered seats of their carriage and onto the floor. His flying clothes had been stained black with stuff, and the air had stunk of it, sharp and metallic. Mike could smell her father's blood on her even now, as she and Henny raced through the forest. She couldn't forget it, however much she wished to. Oh, if only the events of that night had been nothing more than a bad dream. Mike wished the fog would clear and she would awake, her eyelids fluttering to discover herself sitting once more in her bed in her home, the room flooded with pale sunlight.
Mike.
But Mike's surroundings...
Oh, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to read that one.
I didn't know either!
We both just kind of went, let's read it. I'll let you go.
But Mike's surroundings did not shift. The trees continued to press in about her as though they meant to eat her alive. You want to take the shadowy pursuers?
I think I'll take the shadowy pursuer. Her shadowy pursuers were beginning to close in on them. Mike knew she had no hope of outrunning them. She was flagging. Her heart was hammering in the base of her throat. What would happen when Mike was not so optimistic for hope and, for an if, they caught her? What would happen to Henny? Or what would they do to Henny?
Close enough.
The thought was almost more than Mike could bear. It had been bad enough to lose her parents, but to lose Henny too? Why, she had done nothing wrong.
Referencing a streamer who, while playing a fighting game with a queer friend, but rage baited the fuck out of him, said, "It ain't Pride Month anymore. You don't have power now. It's Wrath Month."
Okay. Personal joke, but we did see at least that, like, sins collection.
It's true.
Unlike Mike, Henny was no lady. She was just a maid. She was only being targeted because of her relationship to Mike and her family. Had Henny been traveling alone, she would have passed through the forest quite unscathed. It wasn't as though Henny had any valuables upon her person that were worth the effort of pilfering.
Henny! Mike appealed to her maid between sharp gasps of air which pierced her lungs as keenly as knitting needles. "Please, let go. Leave me be. I'm just slowing you down."
I don't care. I'm not leaving you behind.
"But..."
There aren't any buts. I told you, I won't leave you. Now, let's keep running.
Mike wanted to run. Really, she did, but her body had already begun to give in. Her heart might have been pumping fit to burst at the base of her throat, but her legs were weak despite the excess blood which filled her, and her hand in Henny felt cold and clammy. She had exhausted all of her energy simply in escaping from the carriage where her parents' bodies lay. Now, she would die, only a few hundred paces away from their final resting place. Would her mutilated carcass be discovered in the days hence and taken back to her family's home? Would she and her parents be embalmed and sealed away within their mausoleum? Mike did not much like this thought. Her family's mausoleum was a terrifying place full of somber stone angels and spider webs. It was quiet, like being situated among tall trees, but its quietude was not at all relaxing. Its quiet was the deep, fathomless silence of death.
That's a great way to use fathomless.
It is. Innocent of wrathful, nah. Casually torture Zelda mobs in cages and has a whole prison system of villagers. Totally not wrathful. That would be considered wrathful, Frisk. She knew not how she would continue to live on, with both her parents slaughtered before her very eyes, but she did not want to succumb as they had in this forest full of fog. She wanted to go on living, for her sake, and for Henny's, though not necessarily for Walter's.
God, they're getting closer. We need to keep running. Come on, Mike. But like the guttering flame of a candle, the last of her energy had been expended.
Mike's foot
caught in it. Oh, go ahead. It's hard to tell. I think when your character is on screen, I won't read it, but if it's just generic narrating and not your character on screen, I can help narrate. We'll figure that part out.
Yeah. Mike's foot caught in a tangled tree root, which jutted from the ground like a bear trap, and she fell. Her hand, which was slick with sweat, slipped free from Henny's. She reached out, searching for her loyal maid through the fog, but to no avail.
Mike!
Simple, "Hi, Guardian!" Henny's voice echoed in Mike's ear, shrill and frantic. Mike's heart juddered in her chest, hard, as though meaning to stop altogether, but it did little good. I appreciate the rubs. Her head smacked against the ground with a dull, anticlimactic thud. Mike's teeth bit against her tongue. She tasted copper. Her vision swam.
Mike! Oh god, Mike, get up! Please, get up!
And then everything went black.
It went black. The night that never ended. Interesting choice.
Well, I mean, if you become a vampire, technically the nights don't end.
Yeah.
What? Mike was greeted upon waking by a dull, crashing pain that gripped her skull like a vice. A brackish taste akin to pond water filled her mouth, and with one hand clasped to her head, she coughed. Mike's body shuddered, her lungs burned. It took a minute before her coughing fit subsided, and once it did, Mike began to glance uneasily around her surroundings. And there's been a request to give Demon Goddess praise from both of us, Maeve.
Sorry, I muted for a second because Dan background.
It's
I'm
okay.
more than happy to give praise.
And
would you like me to start, or would you like to start?
You can start. I was just gonna ask if there was a preferred, if you just want girl, goddess, if there was a preferred term.
Yeah, like we'll happily include for like we did for Switch Droppy, if you want to be a puppy, kitty, just general demon, anything. We're happy to use what we can. I will also say kitten. Okay. I was about to say, if you wish to deny it, you also can. We will not do anything against consent, but if you're willing, happy. And my lovely little kitten, aren't you such a good little kitty? Such a sweet, good kitten. An amazing, sweet kitten among all these little plushies. You are a good little kitten.
I can't do it as good as Maeve because I genuinely am a bottom, but I try my best. And you really are. You're a very good kitten. Good. You precious kitten.
I will also have you know, I do intentionally have to like put my hand up on my microphone stand to hold it, to like mimic holding someone's head. That helps me mentally visualize and like be better at it. That is, I don't know if that's just a trick for anyone, but that does kind of help me because it's like, okay, like again, you're holding this side of someone's head, someone's shoulder, like that mentality. Maybe that helps.
Honestly, I think if I had to do that in person to someone, like my brain would just know. Like I have to try so hard, and I'm happy to. I'm always happy to for all of you. Like that's why the redeem is there. But like this is not my natural state at all. At all.
Chat, why don't we praise our good little Banat for being such a good bunny and trying her best to be the best top for you all that she can. So you get free ones because you're in call with me.
Okay. I did not expect that.
Whoops.
It's okay. I'm not stinky tank. I took a shower.
Yeah, we both showered. No stinky here.
Your photos with the moon out of fluster. Well, good. And enjoy the nice feelings. She hoped that her immediate surroundings might shed some light upon her predicament, but her hopes were in vain. Mike had no idea where she was. The floor upon which she was sitting, but why she was sitting on the floor of all things, was made of stone, which felt hard and cold and uncompromising. The walls, too, were made of stone, as was the ceiling, which felt very far away. A wooden cot was pushed up against one of the walls. It was not so steeped in shadows, Mike could scarcely make it out. Oh, it was so steeped in shadows. Wow. I can read. There was a chamber pot lying by the cot, which she did not care to examine too closely, but its rim and sides were stained with caked-on filth. Ooh. Hey, go over up on Squish Possum! How are you doing?
It's been a little bit. Hope you're doing well, Possum.
Joke's on you, only knife clicks get you. Well, you're probably safe from those, at least for now.
Yeah. I don't think for now we have any knife clicks in this chat.
You're doing good. I'm so glad to hear it. A truly unpleasant odor exuded from the chamber pot, which made Mikei's eyes sting. It was fortunate that she had no immediate desire to relieve herself, for she had no wish to use this commode. A quick examination of the room, though, really looked more like a cell, showed Mikei that, save for the cot and the chamber pot, it was utterly desolate. There was no other furniture to be seen, no shelves, nor cupboards, nor even a proper bed. Been doing arts and stuff, watched Backrooms movie last Wednesday. It was so good. I'm glad you were able to see it. I'm sure it was right up your alley. And thank you for the lurk, Demon Goddess. Take care of yourself, please. Oh shit, hang on. Missed that one. There we go.
There's no mirror either, so Mikei could not see herself. Perhaps that was a blessing in disguise.
Mikei doubted
Mikei
she would
had-
be...
oh, go ahead.
So
I wasn't sure if you clicked off, so I was reading from stream, so I was like, oh no, let me grab that.
You're good. Mikei doubted she would be at her best given she was in so much pain. She was so very exhausted. So cold and could feel goosebumps rippling across her flesh. Her teeth were chattering badly. Mikei wound her arms around her middle and shivered sadly. Not only the chamber pot that stunk, the very air was rank, heavy with the stench of unwashed bodies and general decay. This room, no, she was sure that it was a cell, reeked of death. How had she come to such a place? What had happened to her? Mikei could remember sitting alongside her mother and her father in their carriage as it bore them through the forest, and then... There, at this most pivotal of moments, her memories failed her. Mikei could recall nothing else. Had her parents been there? They would have given her instructions. They always seemed to know what Mikei ought to be doing at any given time, but they were not there, and neither was Henny. Mikei was all alone. Henny had been with her. Mikei was certain. Before. Before what? Why could she not remember anything? Oh, Mikei thought sorrowfully, if only she was made of stone, then perhaps her head would not hurt so much. It really did feel that her skull might explode, not from the pain, though the pain still remained, but from raw, unbridled fear. Mikei often dreamed of stealing away from her parents' home to embark upon a brand new life, unfettered by expectations, but she had never wished for this. Tears began to trickle down Mikei's cheek in crystalline droplets. They scored tracks in the dirt which caked her cheeks and dropped one by one to the floor. Her head bowed, fingers splayed against the stones. Mikei sobbed and sobbed until... Henny's here!
What? What's going on? A soft voice spoke from amongst the teeming shadows. Mikei could not see the speaker. She could scarcely see at all, given the darkness, and now her own tears, but she recognized its familiar cadence. The voice belonged to Henny. Mikei's dear friend was here too, in this stone cell, which smelt of death, and though Mikei feared for Henny, she could feel relief bubbling up inside her.
In the spirit of Pride Month, here's where I would take everyone on a platonic date to bunny or sheep farm, then later in the day, a cat cafe? Did you mean say a cat cafe? The manga
I would
shop
hope.
or comic shop to view books, and finally figure shop to pick up anime merch. That sounds
perfect for this community.
lovely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing.
Thankful for a stretch and hydrate, mutant.
And we are back from bunny form.
Yes. She was not alone after.
Oh. There you go. Well, it's your line anyway.
Henny! Mikei crawled forth on her hands and knees, being too exhausted to stand, and stared into the shadows. Henny! Is that you?
Mikei?
A shaft of moonlight spilled through the singular barred window hewn high in the wall of their cell, and finally, Mike was afforded a view of her maid. Though christened Henrique, Mike had always called her beloved maid Henny. It seemed the more appropriate name for so cheery a woman, for Henny, come rain or shine, was rarely seen without a smile.
That's awesome, but I'm still so concerned with the names in this game. They're all really pretty, but like, they very much give like generated name of, oh, let me just add K to the end of the names.
Yeah. I had this similar thought, but I'm like, it's fine. We'll just roll with it.
Because without the K-E, I would have called her May, but now I'm like Mike because the extension. So I'm like, sure, yeah, that, and then Henrique. Huh?
Yeah. Well, at least it did get shortened down to Henny.
Mm-hmm.
And Henny was not smiling now, however.
She was sitting upon a wooden cot, which Mike had first spied. Her head bent. Henny's face looked woefully weary, and it had lost much of its usual pinkness. Her apron, once white, now stained and sullied with dirt. Henny's shoes had been black and sensible, but now they were mirrored with filth, and her socks were rucked up about her ankles. I'm not sure what that means.
I think just like scrunched up.
I would assume, yeah, but I've never heard the phrase rucked up before. Interesting.
Yeah, me neither.
Henny's hands, which she held at her front, were trembling like those of a woman thrice her age. She looked an awful sight, but Mike knew she could hardly have been any better herself.
Demon Goddess, if you do exclamation mark feet, you will understand. Do at your own risk.
Yeah.
There you go. So, Maeve's kind of covering them for now.
I hide the feet, don't worry about it. You can see the toesies, don't worry. You see some toes. Mutant, would you like to wait for the lovely Metvel to return to non-feet mode to get your lovely pet?
This one only lasts 30 seconds, so it'll be over.
Yeah.
There we go.
A much quicker redeem for sure.
Here, I'll go first, and then you can
Okay.
save the best for last. Cause Mutant, you're such a pretty pet, aren't you? Such a good, amazing pet.
Yeah, you're such a good pet for us. Always such a good pet. You are so well behaved. You do what you're told. And you break when you're ready to be broken.
I think that got me a little bit. Also, Switch, I'm glad that the animation is going better than you. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's get back to reading.
Yes, back to the reading.
Henny's hair might have been a mess, but at least she kept it short. There was not very much of Henny's dark tresses to be worked into the state of disorder. Mike's own hair, meanwhile, was very long and curly, and though she had worn it in a chignon.
Shannon? I think it's Shannon.
Chignon, but I still don't know what it is. I assume it's like a bun of some sort.
Yeah, it's like a fancy French bun.
Okay. She could now feel it straggling loose about her shoulders. The back of her neck prickled, either from the cold or the dislodged hairpin or two. Perhaps that's why Henry stared at Mike. So, once she had regained her own sense of equilibrium, she thought she'd seen a ghost. Or as though she'd seen a ghost. My god, Mike! Henny looked so alarmed, Mike felt almost ashamed. Mike was no stranger to shame. She felt it quite frequently, in fact. When she was with her mother, it was rarely raised as ugly as a head in Henny's presence.
Enjoy your alert, demon goddess. Thank you.
Since Mike's girlhood, Henny had been her one staunch, steadfast companion. She was the only person Mike knew who took Mike for what she was, rather than wishing, often aloud to her face, that she could be more appreciative, more amenable, more effusive, more like a lady and less like herself.
Thank you also for the alert, mutants.
Enjoy your lurks, everyone! Henny didn't want Mike to be more. She only wanted Mike to be Mike. That mean, then, that Mike did not look like Mike in that moment? But who else did she resemble if not herself? What had happened to her? Are you alright, Mike? Oh, look at your poor face. Henny rose from her cot, which creaked, and she crouched before her friend. Reaching out, still shaking, she cupped Mike's cheeks in her fingers and said, "You're bleeding."
I am?
Yes, you have a nasty cut beneath your right eye and cheek. And he sucked in a breath. Her expression looked grim. It's all banged up. You're positively black and blue.
Oh, I hadn't realized. I'm sorry, Henny.
What? Henny, who had procured a handkerchief from her skirt pocket, it unfortunately wasn't dirty, paused in dabbing at Mike's face to look at her with bemusement. Why are you apologizing to me, you daft goose? You've done nothing to feel sorry for. I think I'm going to use that phrase from now on. Daft goose.
Next time I'm being dumb, Maeve just hitting me with the "you daft goose." I don't know. I'm just sorry for making you worry, I suppose.
Oh, think nought of it. It's my job to worry about you. I'm your maid, remember?
Well, of course I remembered that much. My thoughts might be in a state of disarray for the present, but I would never forget you. You are much more than my maid, Henny. You're my friend, too, my dearest friend.
And I could very well say the same about you. That's why seeing you hurt in such a that's why it hurts seeing you in such a frightful state.
Do I look so very bad?
Well, now...
The art style is really nice, Ace.
It is. It's very pretty. If I didn't see someone directly tagged in the original art page, I would have gone, this is so pretty. Is this maybe AI? No, 100% there's an artist tagged. If you guys want, I can even drop that. I can grab it from the h.io and drop it in chat if you do like the art. But yeah, it's very pretty.
It's made by a well-known
your
Sapphic
link got
creator.
unpinned.
Oh, what?
Where was it?
It's okay. I got it.
Okay.
Let me do that. Let me repin it.
I'm gonna
Manually
also open the link and grab the
unpin.
specific artist.
There we go. Alright, he's repinned in case anyone else should like to
And
to
if you
check
guys
it out.
wanted the specific artist, they have a link directly to their Twitter, X, whatever. That is the artist in this style for most of the CGs and background stuff.
They did an excellent job. This one came highly recommended to me, so I was like, yeah, it's vampires.
I almost I remember there was like something of roses when you showed it to me, so I went to the page to find out, like, oh, because you said Ebihim. I'm like, is that a specific genre? No, it's the artist. Okay, or like the writer. And so I went to check and I saw Cafe of Roses, wholesome. That doesn't quite sound too right. Started looking and I saw Cage of Roses. I'm like, there we go, that's the one.
Look,
Wholesome.
we
Wholesome
got.
Yuri, sure.
I'm all for wholesome. We know that equal parts wholesome and wholesome, but
Yes.
yeah, we take the extra one. And thank you for a daily bun squish, Cairo man.
As we
How
know,
are you
death is
doing?
inevitable.
And you also switch.
Henny scanned Mike's face, her brown eyes now bright with mischief. That depends on how honest you want me to be.
Oh dear. Do I look as bad as all that?
You certainly looked better. Your face is banged up as a windfall apple.
An apple? Mike shook her head in wonderment. I only hope that an apple isn't riddled with worms.
I don't think you've anything to worry about on that score, at least.
Well, that is a relief. I suppose things could always be worse.
Right, you are. That's the spirit. You're still alive, and so am I, and we're together. That ought to count for something. Although... Henny finished wiping the worst of the congealed blood and muck from Mike's cheek, and drew back, her soiled kerchief gripped tight in her hand. Her expression newly dour, she said after a moment's pause, I am afraid that your parents might have been so fortunate, or mightn't have been so fortunate.
What? Mike's heart leapt in her chest at this somber announcement. What happened to them, Henny? Do you know what's going on?
You don't?
I recall that we were traveling to Augsburg to visit my fiancé. But as for how we came here... Mike closed her eyes in the hope of remembering something, but again, nothing came. Her mind remained stubbornly blank, as featureless as a snowy field, all flora blanketed in untrammeled whiteness. I'm afraid I cannot remember.
Not a single thing?
Nothing.
I see.
All I'm thinking of is
Henny grit her teeth together for a few moments, her eyes dark. She seemed to be weighing up her words, as a baker might measure out flour and sugar, before speaking. That's not such a surprise, I suppose. You hit your head pretty hard back there. It might be for the best that you can't remember all the gory details. I wish I could forget what happened myself, but... And his voice trailed away, awkwardly, as she gripped her kerchief. The kerchief had been the only clean thing that Mike and Henny's sell, but now it, too, was ruined, streaked with brown and red. How deep was the cut that Mike had sustained, and how much had she bled? This, too, remained a mystery. Mike did not know. There seemed much, all of a sudden, she was ignorant of. She felt too unworldly, as she might have been a little girl again, enthused after she had successfully stolen a key to her family's mausoleum. Mike had not known, as she stood in the chill entrance of the mausoleum, she was about to lower herself in a subterranean world of death and decay, though part of her had wondered.
Henny? Mike took Henny's hand in her own, her cracked fingernails digging into her skin. What happened? Tell me, please, I want to know.
Yes, I thought you might. That does make things a mite complicated, though. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Just... promise me you won't take against me for what I'm about to tell you. I've gone through a lot tonight already, and would be the straw to break the camel's back.
Henny, please. You should know that is a trivial concern. I'm fully aware that none of this is at your fault. You have only ever sought to protect me. I have no better friend than you, not in all the world.
And it's precisely because I want to protect you that I don't want to go into all this. I know it'll upset you. Christ. It upsets me too. It's an upsetting situation all around. It's rotten, really, what people are capable of, but... Penny paused.
Emotional
She sucked in a
damage.
breath, and then, in a calmer tone, she said, "Just how much do you want to know?"
How much is there to know?
Oh, I remember everything. I will always remember tonight, I expect. It made quite the impression. Horrible things always do.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. Things truly that dire?
They're... pretty bad, yes.
Give me an abridged account, then. I've no need to hear everything. Girl, you're locked in a cell! How much worse can things, like, actually be? Like, I feel like this is kind of your worst case scenario. Aside from death.
Yeah, aside from dying, which you were concerned of originally, you'd think you'd be like, pretty like, okay, you know, I think I've seen the worst of it. Let's get through it.
They're low-key edging us, for real.
Right you are. Penny bowed her head in acquiescence, her face half swallowed by the shadows. A beam of light, which had penetrated the drab cell, had long since been extinguished, the moon obscured beneath the rolling fog. It was so cold in their cell, Mike could not cease her shivers. Even her teeth felt cold, like shards of ice implanted in her gums. Penny's proximity served as something of comfort, but it could not rid Mike of her trepidation. She knew, once Henny relayed the past events to her, her life would no longer be the same. Everything would change. It was changed already, in fact, so quickly that Mike hardly had a chance to gather her bearings. She felt lost, adrift, and hopelessly afraid. I am sorry to tell you this, Mike, but during our travels, the carriage... it was attacked by bandits.
What? No.
They came creeping out from the fog like... I don't know, monsters from a children's story, maybe, but much scarier. They waylaid the carriage, they then stormed it. They drew out their daggers and threatened your father, and when he refused to comply, well... Henny's expression twisted. They stabbed him.
What? With that, we do have to take a quick ad break. So
We at least
unfortunately,
know,
Ace,
confirmed. Dad has stabbed.
we might be edging you a little bit more. we will be back in just a couple minutes. Alright, ads are done. I hope everybody hydrated, stretched if they needed to. Good job on getting the word ace. Alright, we are back with the things you've given up on the animation, you know? Sometimes when you hit a wall, the best thing to do is give yourself a break switch.
Taking a break is very important, especially when it comes to animation.
Thank you for the stretch and hydrate, Guardian, and thank you put me in my jammies.
It's
Working on a
Pokemon
tail wag.
time.
It'll be so cute when it's done, though, Switch. Mike stared. She'd expected as much before Henny began her gruesome tale, but the news still shook her. Evidently, she had not been half so prepared to hear the worst she had imagined. Oh God, not my papa. My poor papa. Don't tell me he didn't.
I'm sorry, but... Henny sniffed. It's as you're probably suspecting. His wound was a deep one, and he died.
Dad? My papa... Dead?
That is the doornail, I'm afraid.
Would it just be entirely blunt?
She's dead. There's the doornail. I didn't hang around to see what happened, but... Well... It was all over so quickly, I didn't think he suffered, at least.
And my mama? What of her? Oh, don't tell me she also...
Henny didn't reply. The discomfort that crossed her face left Mike with no doubts as to her mother's fate. In one brief night... Oh, go ahead.
One brief
I'm also doing
night.
the other thing in the background, so I think you might be best to take over narrating.
Yeah, you're good. In one brief night, both of Mike's parents had been slaughtered. Now, she was an orphan. Thank you for the head pat switch. And what of us, Henny? How did we escape? I find it hard to believe the bandits would just let us go.
Oh, I'm sure you would. We would have joined your parents if we'd sat still like good little girls. But I didn't want to do that. I took your hand while they were busy with your mother, and we ran away. We fled through the woods. The bandits took chase pretty darn quickly. No swearing. It was very dark, and the fog was thick, and I could hardly see what was happening. At one point, you tripped and fell, and that's how you got that nasty cut on your poor forehead, and I was dragged down with you. We lay on the ground in the dirt while the bandits tramped about looking for us. I figured we'd both a couple of goners. I'd started to say my prayers with the Lord Almighty, but then... We survived. Oh, sorry. I didn't even read the name change. Yes, we survived.
This, Mike supposed, was not such a surprise. It went without saying, really, that they had survived. Otherwise, they would not have been sitting in this ghastly cell, speaking to one another. Either the bandits had spared them, which seemed unlikely, or somebody had come to their defense. Who would have been wandering the woods so very late at night, however? Mike could hardly credit it. Their escape must have been the stuff that fantasies were made of. Do you know how we escaped, Henny?
I know what my eyes saw, but if my eyes can be trusted or not, well... It's another matter altogether. I think I might have bumped my head myself. It was all so peculiar. At the time, it seemed like a miracle. looking back on it, that ain't the right word. Miracles just God and his angels, but there was naught holy about this. It was a right proper mess, really. A total bloodbath.
Blood?
Yes, there was blood, and lots of it. It's hard for me to explain, but all I know is one moment we were sprawled on the dirt, you unconscious, I half out of my mind with fright as the bandits approached. And the next, they were gone.
Gone? But where? And how? Did they run away?
Not necessarily. Not of their own free will. The fog parted, you see, and then this figure. This woman. She appeared so quick, it was like she'd sprung up from the earth.
A woman, you say?
A woman?
A woman?
She wasn't very tall. I don't think she was, at least. She was very skinny. But the way she looked, the way she moved, there was something unnatural about her. I didn't get a very good look at what happened next, but I saw her go after those bandits. I think there were at least 4 of them, but that woman soon took care of them. There is so much blood, and a lot of blood. But it stunk to high heavens, it did. Brought tears to my eyes.
You have a lot of dialogue right now, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm used to reading visual novels on my own, it's perfectly okay. That woman, though, the woman in white, didn't seem fussed at all. She stood there once she had finished, beneath the moon, like nothing had happened. And then Henny pressed her fingers to her brow and, overwhelmed, shook her head. I don't remember anything after that. I think I must have fainted. When I finally awoke, I found myself here. It was you crying that woke me up.
Oh.
I've never been able to rest easy while you're in tears, Mike. That's so sweet!
That is really sweet. They're so cute.
They're absolutely adorable friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. You've always been so good and so kind. Thank you, Henny. Mike chanced to smile, though the muscles about her mouth felt atrophied, worn away from the news of her parents' demise. I have no idea what I would do without you. It sounds like you saved me.
From the bandits, I suppose I did. But it wasn't much use when you took that nasty spill. There's no way I would have been able to carry you to safety. Not when you were all turned about in the woods and I had no idea where we were. I think I scraped my own shin too. My ankle aches. We'd have been goners if that woman hadn't appeared. But now that I'm talking about it, it doesn't sound real. I can't think of any woman who would be able to beat 4 men in a test of strength. Not even your own Mademoiselle Blancard.
Mike's smile widened at this, despite the severity of their situation, and she was even able to manage a laugh. It was a weak laugh, which contained little in the way of mirth, but it was sincere. Henny never failed to cheer her up. He must have had a knack for it. Mike was too old to believe in magic, but when she was with Henny, she sometimes wondered. Are you sure it was a woman who fended off those bandits? Perhaps it was some sort of animal instead, and you failed to perceive it in the fog.
That could be. Like I said, my mind's a mess. I feel as I've lost a good 10 years off my life, although... Here, Henny smiled grimly in a manner of all survivors after witnessing something horrid.
There is some sort of magic going on in the cell, Ace. So true.
Very big magic. That's better than having it cut short altogether.
We must be thankful for small mercies. Yes, even if our lives were saved at my parents' expense. Mike squeezed her eyes shut. She could feel tears beating upon her lashes anew, but this time she was able to subdue them. The news of her parents' death was a heavy burden to bear, but Mike, not having witnessed their final moments, found it hard to imagine. It still did not quite seem real. The shock of it all, perhaps, had blunted her senses. It would take a while for her parents' passing to truly register. When it did, however, Mike did not doubt that the tears would come thicker and faster than before. It had not always been so, but her childhood misadventures in her family's crypt had left her something of a crybaby. Now then, Mike inhaled, then glanced about. Where do you suppose we are? And how do you suppose we got here?
That's a good question. I've been wondering that myself. It's not the nicest of digs, is it? Would you say digs at this point in time? Like, that feels so modern.
We've got a little bit of a hodgepodge of words used. I'm just rolling with it.
Full fantasy universe, whether it is medieval type fantasy like back in the day or modern or future, I don't know, man. We just have what we have. We gotta suspend our disbelief.
Mm-hmm. First time some of these phrases were ever uttered. Yeah. Waiting for a we're so cooked.
We might get it.
It is entirely possible. If I recall correctly, this writer doesn't write in English and has it translated, so I think that's a lot of what it is.
Could be, yeah.
Not particularly. No, it's awfully drab and it's damp too. I'm freezing.
You poor thing. Come here. Henny shifted closer to Mike, then drew her arms about her, holding her close. She then glanced about. Both maid and mistress squinted into the shadows, as though they might unearth some secret way of escaping. A trap door, perhaps, or a hidden passageway. But, to Mike's disappointment, she found the cell quite unchanged. It was every bit as sparse as she recalled. The shadows did a little to mask the fact that it still stank. Goodness me, it's not much of to look at, is it? It might as well be in a prison cell.
I think that might be what this is.
Henny drew back from Mike, her legs crossed beneath her upon the stone floor, and frowned. I reckon you're right.
I wonder who brought us here.
You and me both. It was nice of our mysterious benefactor or benefactress to rescue us, though they can't be all that kind if they're gonna let us suffer in here. You didn't think that they could have at least put us in a nicer room. I'm not expecting a first-class accommodations, but you deserve better than this, Mike. This place isn't fit for rats, let alone people.
It's all right.
Are you being serious? Henny raised an eyebrow while Mike smiled.
It's better than being dead, at least, even if these lodgings are a mite uncomfortable.
Only a mite?
Well, quite a bit, if I'm being honest. Mike drew her arms about her legs, her knees beneath her chin, and said, When I woke up, I was lying on the floor.
On the floor? Henny's eyebrows shot up her forehead until they met her hairline. This gesture was so exaggerated, it managed to bring another smile to Mike's lips, despite how very dire their situation was.
Live Henny reaction.
Live Henny just, aww. I suppose it makes sense, there being only one bed, but oh, that is too much. I can't believe they'd fling you about like a sack of spuds.
Many unbelievable things have happened tonight. Our benefactor must have been bucking the trend. Huh.
Some benefactor. When I get my hands on them, I'll give them a good what for.
Don't, Henny. It wouldn't do to pick a fight with whomever brought us here. I wouldn't want to anger them. Not when we're at their mercy.
Why, but that makes us sound like captives.
Is that not what we are? This is a cell, after all, and we have no means of escaping. We're being treated like prisoners.
I know, but it still stings. I don't care about me, but I don't want to see you being treated like a convict, not with what you've been through when you've been through so much.
You've been through worse. At least I don't remember what happened, unlike you.
And you're the one who'll be saddled with the consequences, poor Mike. It was your parents, not mine, who were... well... I don't suspect there's much of a point trying to suss out who's suffering more than who. As it stands, we're both in this together. I won't abandon you, Mike, so try not to worry. Keep your chin up. We'll get through this.
Thank you, Henny. I almost believe it coming from you.
You should. I don't say things I don't mean, you know. Now, let's see. Maybe things aren't as dire as they look. There could be a way to escape yet.
Have we checked the door?
Have we even opened the door?
Or tried?
Have we touched anything other than each other?
I mean, but also, like, mood. Oh no, I'm trapped in a room with Maeve. What am I going to do?
No.
Touch Maeve.
Touch Maeve, touch Belle. And he rose to her feet, though unsteadily, and did a circuit of the cell. The shadows made it seem larger than it was, for they obscured the walls, but it did not take Henny many steps to canvass the full length of the dingy room.
Should check all the doors? Yes, exactly.
She pressed her fingertips to the wall, then her ear, as though the stonework might whisper their weakness to her. But the walls, of course, remained mute. Henny then took the bars between her fingers and squeezed experimentally, but they refused to yield. Did we try just moving the door? Is the door
Right?
locked?
Like,
we don't have to squeeze the bars.
push-
You jingle
push
the
the
cell.
door.
Push.
Push. Or pull.
Pull through, yeah. Oh, come on. Oh. Frustrated, Henny gave the bars a kick. The tip of her shoe collided with them, losing clods of dirt from her soles, but... damn it all. The bars refused to budge. They were quite impenetrable. Unlike me. Sighing, Henny changed tact. She moved from the door to glance up at the window, but it was similarly barred, too high up to reach and much too small to squeeze through. It almost seemed like a miracle that such a small window would allow moonlight at all to spill into the cell when the clouds and fog shifted.
And? Mike asked when a disenchanted Henny flopped back down beside her with a rustle of her skirts. Did you uncover anything?
Not all, except we're more trapped than I thought.
I thought you might have come to that conclusion, yes.
God. And he kicked off her right shoe, then began to massage her feet, which had begun to throb. This is a rum situation. I wonder what we're to do.
I don't think there's much we can do other than wait.
Yes, wait for the woman.
Mhm.
I suppose you're right. I can't say I like the thought of that, though. We're sitting ducks here. I feel we ought to take some kind of action. Henny looked about the cell once more, then sighed. But I'm drawing a blank here. I can't think of anything we could do. I'm sorry for being so hopeless, Mike. I meant to look after you, but I'm at a total loss.
Don't apologize, dear Henny. I feel better simply being with you.
That's something, at least. I wish it could be of some real use, though.
You are of real use. Without you, I'd be an unconscionable mess, weeping on the floor.
Well, we can't be having that. Breaks my heart to see you cry.
Much as it breaks mine to see you self-flagellate so over something that is not your fault.
Touché. Now that we're well and truly stuck here, I suppose we ought to make the best of it. Although, I have a bad feeling about this place. It gives me the creeps. I don't know who imprisoned us here, or what cause, but they've no manner to speak of. Why, it's almost as if... Henny began, but she found herself unable to finish the sentence. A sound issued forth from darkness, emitting from beyond their tightly sealed cell. It was a faint sound, but Henny still heard it, hovering in the sour and musty air. It sounded like a scream. Good God! What in the world was that?
I suppose that was just the wind?
Yes, wind screams.
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
Wind
does all sorts of things. The wind screams, it whispers down bad things, you know, the wind be wildin'.
Wind do be wild. Do you really think so?
Yes, I imagine. Mike answered in the affirmative, though deep down, both she and Henny knew the truth. That had not been the wind. It had been too raw, too pained, and, though faint, unmistakably human.
Dun dun dun.
With no obvious way of escape and very little to do, Mike and Henny had no choice but to idle their time away. They sat upon the floor together with their legs folded primly, like two little girls conducting a make-believe tea party. Henny had, at first, balked at the thought of her mistress sitting on the stone like a plebeian, but Mike's dress was already so dirty it didn't matter. The two women did not, however, abandon themselves to inertia. Henny knew they had to do something to take their minds off their ghastly predicament. Fortunately, Henny was not empty-handed. You did a lot of reading, so I'll give you a break. She had in her pocket, alongside the kerchief she'd used to wipe Mike's cheek, a pack of cards. These cards were worn and bent at the corners, but remained perfectly functional. For want of a better way to use the
game.
You know, you're trapped in a cell, all you got is a deck of cards, you may as well play with them.
Right.
Henny proposed to Mike.
What?
Well, yes. But also, actually, you know what? I will, dead ass, I wouldn't, because it's so dirty.
Yeah.
That, like, that would be the one time where, like, no, I not in good conscience, no. Cards are better.
Will not risk me for fun.
No, definitely not. Henny proposed to Mike a game of Joker, a game which Mike agreed to. The two women played several rounds of Joker, examining their decks and dispensing of the cards. The game did not require a great degree of tactical thinking, but it helped alleviate some
Don't
of
forget to
Mike's
hydrate and
worries.
stretch.
Ah, yes. Mika's switch. Oh, my back just popped.
Strip poker. No, Joker. Not poker. Joker. With a J.
I mean, I suppose you could still do strip Joker, but again, it goes back to the, like, everything's so dirty, and you know, hands are dirty. Everything's just not clean. That it's better to just keep things covered. It could not, alas, alleviate the cold, but Mike had been shivering for so long she had almost grown accustomed to it. She had been in the dank, miserable cell for so long she could scarcely remember how it felt to be warm. Had her journey to Augsburg continued unimpeded, she would now be sitting by the fire in Walter Gerald's living room, or else tucked up in one of his many guest bedrooms with a warming pan at her feet. Both Augsburg and Walter Gerald seemed very far away to Mike now. Though being confined thus in a prison cell, how long had she been sitting with Henny on the floor, shivering? Mike didn't know. She could not tell. All Mike really knew, in her infinite ignorance, was that the night seemed hopelessly long, she hopelessly small and insignificant. There was no clock in Mike's cell, and neither she nor Henny carried timepieces upon them. The only means Mike had of tracking the advancement of the hour was the sliver of sky she could see beyond the narrow window, situated high above her head. She could recall the sky had been dark upon her wakening, and it remained so now, 3 games of Joker later. The moon, which emerged from the fog at irregular intervals, shone its pallid light upon Mike's head and upon her hand of cards, lighting her Joker in his wide, rictus grin. Mike had never much cared for the Joker in Henny's trusted pack of cards. His expression unnerved her. Every once in a while, as she played, Mike spared a few glances at the barred window above her head. Though she could not guess the hour, she knew it was late. It could have been an advanced hour of the night, or could have been, by the same token, the very, very early hours of the following morning. The calendar might have shifted already from one day to the next, but Mike was none the wiser. The sky was so dark, Mike found it hard to believe the sun would ever rise again. The darkness which abounded within her cell was so complete it seemed to have blotted out the very concept of the morning altogether. She feared she would never again see the sun's golden rays, never again hear the twittering of the starlings in the trees which announced a brand new day. When did the birds begin to chirp beyond her bedroom window anyway? Mike could not recall, but she thought it must have been around 6 in the morning. Mike had gone to bed at 10 every night like a dutiful daughter ought, but she had often found it hard to sleep for a full, unbroken 8 hours. She would arise at odd hours, at 1 or 2 or 3, her head full of thoughts, and often she found it hard to sleep again. When this occurred, Mike would... Right? What? Going to bed at 10 and sleeping for just solid 8 hours? Who can do that? How can you do that? Tell me your secrets.
I can manage one of the two regularly, but not the same one every night.
Yeah, that is... I don't know how anyone does it. brain no understand. When this occurred, Mike would rise from her bed to sit by her windowsill, her forehead in the summer pressed to the glass. This always helped cool her, and her errant thoughts alongside it. Oh, how her mind raced.
This is ridiculous. Henny groused all the while examining her cards. We ought to be at Herrgard's by now, safe as houses. We weren't so very far from Augsburg. At least I don't think we were, when we were attacked. Why did those bandits have to go after us?
We were just unfortunate, I suppose.
That's the truth. It's never karma or anything like that. Sometimes you just wrong place, wrong time.
So true. I can't imagine the bandits meant specifically to target us. We just happened to be there.
You're probably right, but... Goodness. Of all the awful luck.
At least you had a fair run during our game. You've beaten me out soundly during every single hand.
Well, true, I suppose. I should thank heaven for small mercies, eh? And he smiled at Mike's attempt to cheer her, but it didn't last. Both Henny's smile and Mike's cheer were half-hearted, and they were soon swallowed by the sinister darkness of their cell. It's a shame I don't feel more thankful. I wonder what Herr Gerhardt would make of this. I'm gonna say I don't know how to speak German names. I'm gonna butcher them. Just
Yeah, me
accept
neither.
that.
Yep.
Because as far as I can tell, these are all meant to be like traditional German names. Because this is like she's like a German heiress, whatever. So, you know, very, very beautiful spelled names. But I don't think I'm saying anything right.
I'm sure I'm not either. So it's fine.
It's fine. Huh? He'd be off his head, I'm sure, if he knew the state you've been kept in, Mike. I'm enraged too, for you and him. You deserve far better than this. You're a Von Essen, for crying out loud. The person who's holding us here will feel mighty sorry when they realize who you are. You're a real lady.
Maybe. Mike's reply was vague in both tone and meaning. Not even Mike herself was sure whether she meant to disparage Henny's optimistic assertions that her being a lady would grant her any favor with her captor, or whether she meant to challenge the notion she was a lady at all. Mike had been born to a noble family, it was true, with a lineage which could be traced back centuries, but the Von Essens were not what they had been. Half a century of poor financial decisions and a grandfather with a compulsive gambling addiction had left to the squandering of much of the Von Essens' wealth. While still in possession of their family home and a veritable fleet of maidservants, the family's finances had been in a dire state ever since Mike could remember. Though not openly wanting for cash, Mike's parents had made a good many purchases based on their family's prestige, rather than the figures in their bank account. Mike's wedding to Herr Gerhardt had been an attempt to shore up the family's wealth before they could fall from grace altogether, but now that seemed an impossibility. How could Mike wed all? Surely would have shed tears over such a cruel fate. As it was, however, she was curiously calm. What did she care how Walter Gerhardt felt? She barely knew him.
Well, not to worry. Herr Gerhardt must be sitting in his drawing room now, wondering what the blazes we are. Herr
Sorry, you have to
Gerhardt
keep saying his
is
name.
sure. Yeah, I'm like, Herr Gerhardt is sure to send out a search party before long. He'd be worried sick about you, Mike.
Do you really think so?
Absolutely. I mean, he's your fiancé. He's got to be worried. You're such a sweet thing. I don't see how he couldn't.
Thank you, Henny. I appreciate it.
Don't thank me, Mike. I'm just stating facts. If I was a man and I had a fiancé like you can bet I wouldn't let you out of my sight. Oh, do we maybe have an admission? Does Henny maybe feel for Mike? Is Henny maybe gay?
I mean, look at the vibes that are happening right now. Like, yeah. I feel like
just the art of both of them gives very, like, to me, like, at the very least, Henny might be
Big
bi. I think Mike might have, you know, we maybe more sapphic lean, but I think somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps it is a good thing that I'm here with you then. You, at least, know I'm alright.
Yes, you are, and I thank the heavens on high for it. You know I'd do anything to keep you safe, Mike.
I know. Mike could well believe that, coming from Henny. When it came to Henny's claims about Walter, however, Mike was less certain.
Uh-oh.
What did she know about Walter, really, other than his age and his occupation, and how fabulously, excessively wealthy he was? Back to bun form. Mike had met Walter on only 3 past occasions, and they'd exchanged almost as many words. The man was a stranger to her, and Mike's desire to marry him was inversely proportional with her parents' desire to see her walking down the aisle. Thank you for the rep symbol and the head pats. Mike had been dreading her visit to Augsburg for well over a month. Now it had been terminated, she felt a perverse sense of relief. Part of Mike had even begun to wonder whether the bandits' attack had brought with it some good alongside the bad. But that, Mike chastised herself, was hopelessly cruel. Were her parents' lives truly worth that little to her? It was true enough that she may never see Walter Gerhardt again, but she would never see her mother nor her father again either. It was not a fair trade, not by any stretch of the imagination. How could she have thought such a thing?
Silver linings, that's all.
Trying to find some sort of positive and not fall into despair. This is a perfectly reasonable response.
This is very human.
Mm-hmm. It really must have been wicked. Was that why she found herself in such a dire situation? Perhaps this was God's way of punishing her for being a poor daughter, and a sinner who spent too much of her time lost in daydreams, imagining things which could never and would never be. Mike and Henny sat in their cell for what could have been minutes, or hours, or even days, whiling away the time. By God, there was so much time, with continued, unending, incessant games of Joker. Mike's heart was not in the game. Her head had been otherwise occupied, and Henny trounced her soundly 12-1. Henny was better than Mike at card games in general, so this came as little surprise. Mike was accustomed to losing and accepted her failures with good grace. There were more important things in life than card games, and in any event, Mike was glad to be rid of the eerily grinning jokers in her deck. Little of note happened during these dead, empty hours. Mike had begun to wonder, in a detached way, as Henny launched into her 14th round of Joker, whether they would ever meet the rescuer. Perhaps whoever had hauled them from the forest had done so not as an act of kindness, but as a means of prolonging their suffering. Maybe they meant to keep them locked in this cell alone until time itself slowed to a trickle, then ceased, their squalid stone walls tumbling down about them to crush their emaciated corpses into debris. Soon, shockingly soon, or so it seemed despite all of the interminable waiting, Mike found her hypothesis proved wrong. She could hear, above the sound of Henny shuffling the deck, sound. Footsteps. The footsteps were quiet enough, at first, that Mike wondered whether she had imagined them, but as the seconds elapsed, they became louder still, until even Henny heard them.
Goodness me. Henny fumbled with the cards and threw them down. Red hearts and black spades split across the stone. Can you hear that, Mike?
Yes, I can. Someone must be coming.
A rescuer from the woods, do you think?
They could be our rescuer, yes, but maybe... Mike chose not to finish this thought. Her saliva felt too thick in her throat like tar, and she shivered. She didn't want to extinguish the hope which she could see flickering now in Henny's eyes. That would have been cruel.
Henny's head swiveled to the grated iron door, excitable as a puppy, and wide-eyed as she peered through the shadows. This is a turn for the better. I was beginning to worry they'd forgotten all about us. I can't wait to come face to face with them. I'll be sure to tell them exactly what I think about their so-called hospitality.
You've said that once before, Henny, and I wish you wouldn't. I don't want to anger them.
Oh, stuff and nonsense. I'm sure we'll be fine. If they wanted to harm us, they had plenty of chance to do it already, surely.
That is true, but... The footsteps drew closer still, echoing about the stone walls, echoing inside Mike's skull. The footsteps could represent only two things. They would mean salvation, if they were lucky, but Mike found it difficult to believe this. Neither she nor Henny had been very lucky that night, despite Henny's continued winning hands in Joker. It seemed far more likely that these footsteps would bring about yet more suffering, and sure enough.
Well, well. Would you look what the cat dragged in? The voice that had cut through Mike's musings was a proud, haughty one. The syllables polished to perfection like cutting grass. I think I did a good voice for that description.
You
The
absolutely
voice
did. You nailed
belonged
it.
to a quiet, belonged, quite obviously, to a woman, and giving her pronunciation, she must have been well bred.
Hey, yo.
Breeding? Breeding mention? All of chat explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps
Vel
the
explodes.
rescuer was a lady, then a Von such and such, like Mike, from a family who. Do you see why I just naturally wanted to call her May and just forgot the K?
Yes. Absolutely.
Mike, from a family whose ancestral home was vast and old and grand enough to have their very own dungeon. I wish I was well bred. I mean, what? Crazy. Wind's being wild tonight.
See? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The wind be doing all sorts of things.
Wind talks nonsense tonight. Whereas the most nobility used their subterranean storage spaces for wine cellars, this family seemed to prefer taking prisoners. And though it did not fill Mike with such confidence about her mysterious rescuer. I think this is you.
Anxiously, she glanced up to meet the source of said voice, and when she did, oh, Mike could not help but gasp in surprise. The owner of the voice, who now stood upon the opposite side of the cell's door, was not at all what Mike had imagined. She was shorter than Mike had expected, shorter than Mike herself, who was dwarfed by her wealthier, significantly older fiancé, and slender with it, her cheekbones high, her neck not dissimilar to the stem of a flower. Her skin was frighteningly pale, like that of a corpse, and beneath her eyes Mike could see the dark ring familiar to those she often sported during the long nights at her bedroom window, unable to sleep. The woman, or was she a girl? Her hair so fair it was almost white, which almost seemed to glow in the moonlight. Her hair was not worn in a chignon, instead was loose. It tumbled about her shoulders in waves, all disarrayed in a manner which would have made Mike's mother swoon from the sheer impropriety of it all. The girl's appearance, but was she a girl? Was striking, not only because of the indeterminable age, but because of her eyes, which were widely spaced and fringed with the most luxurious of lashes. Her irises were not brown like Henny's, nor blue like Mike's. They were not green, nor hazel, nor gray, nor any other shade Mike had seen in the faces of her family's servants, and the attendants at the boutiques which her mother took her, and the congregation at her local parish. Her irises were, instead, bright red, so much that they bordered on the visceral. Those lovely irises were even redder than the blood which had seeped from Mike's sliced cheek, and seemed to be full of violence. The girl was a perfect stranger to Mike, but her eyes were more than pleasant chit-chat, or more pleasant chit...
Or more than pleasant chit-chat ever could.
That hurt my brain. Okay. She was
It's
not
okay.
normal. Mike knew instinctively as she gazed upon her that she should keep her distance, if she could. But this only made her, conversely, feel even more enchanted. She could not look away from her. It was as though her captor had placed her under a spell.
That woman. Henny shifted back, her skirts shifting against the ground. She's the one I told you about, Mike. The one from the woods. She's the one who fought off those bandits. I thought what I saw was unbelievable, but now I know it wasn't a dream. She really is real. She killed all those men. She's a monster. Oh, a monster, am I? The woman's unnatural eyes narrowed, and with a smile, said, "Protect from Mun."
I was zoomed in.
You cut to the quick, you humans do. At least you would, were I not accustomed to it. Perhaps I bring it upon myself, given the unusual manner which I treat my guests, but you could at least try to be polite. Why, if it were not for me, the both of you would be lying in the woods right now, mangled beyond any recognition. I love the little pout face she has on.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute! So you really were the one who saved us. I thought as much. Yours isn't a face anybody could forget in a hurry. Why, thank you. I will take that as a compliment. I am very striking, I know. Why did you save us, though? And how? I can't believe you brought us back here. Wherever here is, on your own. You must have had help. Oh, if only. But alas, I have not had any help for... Well, let's see. It must have been a century at least. A century? And he gawked at the woman, her eyes agog. But that would make you older than my grandmother. That can't be right. You don't look a day over 18. Oh, do you really think so? You are too kind. Laughing softly, the woman extricated a key from her pocket, then inserted it into the awaiting keyhole. Deftly, she turned it, and deftly she stepped inside the cell, the hem of her dark cape dragging against the uneven stone floor. Once inside the cell, she turned to close the door, then locked it anew. You locked yourself in the cell?
Apparently, yes.
Okay. You know, she seems to have a good reason here anyway. There. That ought to do it. It would be horribly tedious if you tried to run it from me. I would be able to catch you, of course, but I'd rather not bother with all the fuss. With the door secured, the woman placed the key inside her pocket and turned to look at her prisoners. Her red eyes met Mike's, which were narrow with mistrust. And pouting, she said, "Now, why are you looking at me like that? You're making me feel quite unwelcome. I thought you would be relieved to see my face. After being left to languish in the catacombs of my castle for hours on end, maybe I was hoping for too much? In any case, you shouldn't frown like that, dear. It's an awful waste. You'll wrinkle your pretty face." This chastisement was familiar to Mika. Oh, sorry.
I was trying to save you from some reading.
Okay, go ahead, because I now have two characters. I'll let you narrate.
Yeah. She had heard it many times from her mother. While Mike had been trained to obey her mother without question, however, it was not so with this strange woman. Some of her reticence fell away, and, needled, Mike said, "What I do with my face is my own concern. I'm sure it is none of your business."
My goodness. You're feistier than you look. I took you from a shrinking violet, but maybe I was mistaken. Oh, I took you for a shrinking violet, but maybe I was mistaken. You might make for quite the amusing plaything. Thought you'd be a good sight prettier if you smiled. Oh, that would be a good sight prettier. I can't say I blame you for being so surly, though. I never liked smiling on command either. Though it's been many, many years since anybody tried to give me orders. Oh, you also gotta redeem, my love.
Oh, or...
I assume tank.
Yes, that's for the tank. Hey, Bones! Tank. I hope that you are resting, making sure that you are properly hydrated, cooled down. You got some good food in you. Moving takes a lot out of you. But I'm so happy to hear that you're gonna be settled. in a new place, and I really hope that it's so much better because you deserve a safe, properly functioning place to live. You really do. So take good care of yourself, because I know by the end of the day tomorrow too, you're gonna be really sore. So make sure you do it tomorrow too. Mwah! What's wrong, Bones?
Shall I continue, or do you want to wait a minute?
You can continue.
Okay.
Hope
Just
for
interrupt me when
response.
you want to reply to chat. I do just see it, so I know. So I'll know when you're replying and what you're replying to and stuff. It's fortunate nobody can tell me what to do now, at least. It came at quite the price, but oh well. Never mind. Where are my manners? My name is Magdalena. You can call me Lena. My family's name, meanwhile, is of no particular importance. They might have commanded some respect back in the day, but it is not so now. They've been long since obliterated. I doubt history will remember them. It would not wish to. I am all that is left of their legacy, a fact that I would very much love to rub in their faces, but alas, I never got the chance. It's very nice to meet you for the second time this night. Saying so, Magdalena dropped into a neat curtsy, taking hold of her cape in lieu of a skirt. But I am afraid I will not be afforded much of a chance to properly know you. While I would relish at the chance to speak to a couple of young maidens such as yourselves, I have designs for you beyond idle chatter.
Oh, Bones, I'm sorry to hear that you're gonna be so full of things happening, but I wish you all of the best. Make sure that you take proper time that you do get to care for yourself, right? Stay hydrated, get good food when you have downtime to not hopefully run into burnout, you know. Make sure that you do things that are enjoyable for you. That is the most important. I know the economy is not great. We got to get by however we can. So again, looking after yourself and doing what you need to. That is always the most important. It's great to have you here, but I understand life always will happen. And what do you mean by that exactly?
Only that now I have brought you here, I cannot continue to let you live. You have already seen too much.
Welp! So I always say the toaster bath and a glass of bleach in my horizon after all this settles. No. You will get through it, and you will go better. And you will have better sorry, words. A better life.
Words
Better
are hard.
life awaits. A better life definitely awaits, Bones. It does.
What? Henny stared at Magdalena with wide eyes, so full of fear the air swelled with it. What do you mean? What I said. Do try to keep up. It's awfully tedious having to explain myself down to the finer details. But I suppose you have a right to know the bare minimum. Prisoners, though you may be. I would hate to keep you in suspense, and at this point, it doesn't matter how much you know. You won't be able to tell anybody else what you might learn here. You'll not be venturing forth beyond the walls of my castle ever again. Magdalena smiled, her lips lifting a wicked grin, not so unlike that of the Joker in Henny's pack of cards. Though Magdalena's face was white, her lips were red, much like her eyes. They stood out in her milky face, like a rose blooming despite the winter's chill. Or else, Mikai thought with a shudder, freshly spilt blood. You must understand that I am not a normal woman. No humans can hope to best me when it comes to a competition of sheer strength, as the bandits who were pursuing you soon discovered. It didn't take much more than a few seconds to dispatch them. The fight they put up was so pathetic it made me wonder why they even bothered. If they'd any respect for my time, they would have slit their own throats with their daggers and saved me the trouble. You humans can be awfully thoughtless. But if they had done that, I wouldn't have been able to bring the leader of their little group back to my castle. He was in a bad way, and I obliged to introduce myself to him before bestowing upon you similar honors. I really must apologize for making you wait. Magdalena dropped another curtsy. An elegant lady might have, but it smacked of insincerity. How many men and women had Magdalena brought to her castle, and how many had she summarily tortured?
Mikai knew of at least one besides herself and Henny. Oh, we gotta go for ads. We gotta go for ads.
Ads.
We will be back in just a couple of minutes. I appreciate all of you. See you soon. Right. No more ads.
Ads over. Ads complete.
The bandits' leader. Did you kill him?
Eventually, yes. It was quite the sight. You ought to have seen the way he begged and pleaded and groveled at my feet. A grown man like that, who is practically made of muscle.
My.
Oh, how fickle fortune is. Just 1 hour hence he was the predator stalking his prey through the woods. And the next... Magdalena drew a hand across her neck in the unequivocal, universal sign of a slit throat. Well, what goes around comes around. He got what he deserved, and his screams really were exquisite. Did you perchance happen to hear them? He was being rather loud.
No, it was the wind.
You like the
No.
wind!
I mean, if she likes hearing screams. I mean, what?
I'm sure we
I
can
mean,
find
what?
better ways to scream. What? You... Oh goodness. Surprised, are you? You shouldn't be. That man was a bandit, a vulture in a man's flesh who profited off misery. If it weren't for me, you would have gone the same way as the poor unfortunates in that stalled carriage, the driver and the horses, too. Nobody was spared their ravages, man nor beast. They made quite the grisly mess. Were I a century younger, it would have been enough to turn even my stomach. Maybe that is so, but to gloat over another's death like that, it doesn't seem right. You're twisted. If I am twisted, that is only because of this world. Magdalena began. The fact of the matter is, the man got what he deserved, as did his compatriots. I took great pains to ensure that. I paid the brigand back twofold for what he did to you. Did you know that he tried to be stoic in the beginning? Humans often are, human males in particular. They have so much pride. It's funny, really, that a cur like that would care so very much about appearances. He was less a man than he was a dog, but he still had pretentiousness of greatness, or pretensions of greatness, or of grandeur. It soon stripped him of these lofty delusions, however. Humans are so very alike in one regard, at least. You all scream the same after your bones have been broken, and you all bleed red. That was a brigand, I'll grant you that, who deserved a hangman's noose. But that's for the court of law to decide, not you. What you did isn't justice, it's barbaric. You shouldn't be taking pleasure in other people's deaths. What gave you the right to kill him anyway? I had every right to kill him. He was trespassing on my land, as were you and the young lady here. His life was forfeit the moment he encroached upon my territory. The Lord's Prayer may say that we ought to forgive those who wrong us, but I've no patience with such teachings. They do not apply to me. The Lord has forsaken me. I am no longer a member of his congregation. He would have no love for me as I am now, as I have little love for him. I cannot conceive how he could have let me suffer so if he truly existed. Sometimes I do wonder. So you mean to add blasphemy to your list of crimes?
Okay, Henny, let's stop being so antagonistic, maybe.
Henny, you maybe calm down. She did just threaten to kill you and say she just slaughtered another man and 4 others prior.
Yeah, maybe we can tone it down just a scooch.
Oh, I've done far, far worse than that in my time. Oh, right, and this time it's also a crime to be gay. So I guess,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know.
A crime I will happily commit.
Yep.
Come here, Maeve. We're gonna
That
go
also
crime.
says, so what's with these digs?
Let's go,
We
chicken
don't know the language
strip.
they
Enjoy,
use.
tank. Enjoy.
Was digs a medieval term?
I trust in Zeke to tell us.
I mean, I think this is like probably at least 18th, maybe even 19th
I would say
century.
yes. I would say 18th to 19th century for sure. So 1700s,
Yeah.
1800s for those who don't know, like century stuff.
Yeah, not quite medieval.
Yeah, it feels very much like not 2000s, but not the 1900s. I forget what that term is technically called. Also, yeah, saving would be good.
Yeah, I was like,
Just in
I haven't saved this
I
at
haven't
all.
saved once. I don't want to get through all this again. There is an auto button, but The morals of you good, sensuous churchgoers do not apply to me. I am not of your kind. I am a drinker of blood who walks the night. I have been alive for over a century, though my life is very different from yours and your mistress's. I doubt that you could understand me, and neither do I want you to. I've no desire to understand you either. There would be no point. We are much too different. Drinker of blood? But that would make you...
Vampire. It was Mike who offered forth this label after Henny's voice faltered. Mike, who was an ardent devourer of books, and she had read of such shadowy denizens of the night, much to her mother's chagrin. Lady von Essen had thought that Mike, as well as a well-bred young woman, ought not to read at all. It will only excite your mind, dear. Oh yeah, this is 19th century. This is
Definitely.
19th century.
This is like definitely 1800. You shouldn't read. Don't read
You're-
books. You don't think.
Exciting your mind, you will be taken to the asylum.
But you
should
dare
in-
wish to read? Goodbye. You should be doing clothing things and fashion, as such as embroidery.
Exactly. Mike, however, had always preferred books to busy work, particularly work which involved needles. And she found herself returning to stories time and time again whenever she needed a break from her own dreary life. Mike had read
Also
all
understandable
manner.
hating needles.
Yeah. Mike had read all manner of books over the years, but she preferred adventure stories full of mystery, intrigue, and yes, even murder. Mike knew from her reading that vampires were nocturnal creatures, often aristocratic, who shunned the sunlight, dwelt in ruinous castles, and supped upon the lifeblood of fair maidens. Yes, Mike thought, in an oddly detached manner, that did make sense. She had sensed there was something strange about Magdalena when their eyes had first met. Magdalena really must have been a vampire. It all made sense, at least. It would have had Mike been a heroine in one of her novels. But life, Mike reminded herself, was not akin to a story. Mike might have consumed books like a starving man, but she had sense enough to know that the words written within the pages of adventure stories were all skeins of fiction. Vampires ought to...
references.
Hmm?
Sorry, there's so many knitting like references or comments because the skein is like usually a skein of yarn. It's like the specifically wrapped balls that you'll get from the store most often. There was like, oh, it's like knitting needles were stabbing my heart. Why didn't you just say a needle? So many knitting
No.
comments.
No, the writer clearly enjoys knitting. Vampires ought to have remained within the realm of make-believe. They had no business walking about as humans did, made of cold, unfeeling flesh, with hearts that no longer beat. They were supposed to be constructs, merely figments of fancy. But Magdalena was undoubtedly real, and, unsettling though she was, Mike did not take her for a liar.
Yes, that is correct. I am a vampire, and this is my castle, is my territory, and the woods that surround you. You wandered into my domain, you hopeless little lambs, while on the run from those awful bandits. I know none of this is your fault, and I have no quibbles with you. And I am not blaming you for what occurred tonight. There. See how fair I am? I'm too nice by half. Too nice for my own good cause.
Yeah, but you still said, though, you're gonna kill us, so...
Yeah. You must have been awfully surly with me, the both of you, but I've only ever been polite. I mean, I think we'll argue the word polite.
Right.
I would even let you go if I could. Dispatching of brigands is one thing, but I take no pleasure in harming young ladies. But I feel that would be foolhardy. I cannot allow anybody who has wandered into my realm to leave alive. I do not want you telling tall tales. I should snap both of your necks and be done with it. But... Magdalena's red eyes found Mike's and held them. Her smile, which hitherto had seemed so easy, faded as she frowned. You do not seem to be a mere peasant. I can tell from your clothes, dirtied as they are, that you are from a wealthy background. Your voice and your bearing, yes, even the way you look at me, all suggest that you are, in fact, a lady. Would I be correct in that assessment?
Why do you ask?
It would be problematic if I were to dispatch a woman of renown. I would not want your disappearance to catch the attention of men in high places. If they were to send out a search party into the woods, it would not be wholly impossible that they would stumble upon my home. Well, yeah, it's a castle.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty obvious if you're looking.
Who just stumbles upon a castle? I also understand, like, vampires want to take up lots of space for whatever reason, all the darkness, all the dreariness, all that great, but, like, a castle is very obvious. You can't avoid a castle.
No, not my secret castle! Not my secret castle!
Not your secret castle! It sounds like you're, like, protecting a sandcastle on the beach. Don't kick my castle!
What do you mean you found you saw it? No, I put sticks around it. You can't see.
No. Oh. It's mine. I stole it first, says Zeke. I have lived out of sight from the public eye for nigh on a century, and I have no desire to invite half of Augustburg to constabulate into my home. The idea is incredibly unpleasant. Magdalena pulled a face, as a small child might when confronted with a plate of food they did not much care for. Let's see the pout. Aw, no pout. That pout face is actually an adorable sprite.
It is.
If you really are a lady, I might do well to exercise some caution. I suppose I can always spare your life and only kill this dowdy common girl. Your maid, I take it? Magdalena looked at Henny. Now, her lips curved into a mean smile.
No, not Henny.
What do you say to that? It's not a bad trade, is it? Her life for yours. Precious few people who find themselves in my abode ever get to live and tell the tale. You would be one in... Goodness, how many guests have I had over the years? There must be a good 200 or 300. Aren't you touched by my thoughtfulness?
Silence
I think I'll give you this one.
In the decrepit cell following Magdalena's announcement. Stuck for words, Mike could only stare at her, her lips parted. What was she to say to Magdalena's proposal? How was she to feel? There was relief, certainly, at the prospect of escaping the cell, but Mike could take no real pleasure in it, not when it would come at the cost of Henny's life. How could she abandon her friend, who had been by her side since early childhood? Were it not for Henny, Mike knew she would be dead already, butchered like a farmyard animal in her parents' carriage. Henny had rescued her once already. It seemed unconscionable that she should leave her now. Mike turned this over in her mind, worrying her teeth with her lower lip when...
Sorry, Zeke asked a question.
It's okay.
Well, if it's my life, if my life's all you're after. Henny reached out, taking Mike's hands between her own, then said, "What else is there to think about? It sounds like a fine suggestion to me. Don't you agree, Mike?"
What? Mike stared into Henny's round, soft face, her eyes vast and uncomprehending. Surely, you don't mean that. You're not alright with this, are you, Henny?
Well, it'd be a lie to say lie if I said I was jumping up and down for joy at the prospect of being eaten by a vampire. Henny's smile wavered. She tried to maintain a brave face. But if it's what I've got to do to save your life, Mike, then I'll do it. I do love you, after all. I'm not going to let you get hurt. I'm about to cry, Christ. I'm so sensitive.
Right? Right?
He tried to sound brave, but Mike could hear how her voice trembled all the same. Could feel, too, how Henny's hands shook. Henny, like her, had heard the screams of the bandits' leader as they echoed through the halls. Though neither woman had seen his final moments, they knew from the cries that his demise must have been barbarous.
Mike could not
Mike
allow
could-
Henny to endure such suffering for her sake. Go break. She could not allow her to die. Mike knew Henny wished only the best for her, but... No. Mike spoke up, her voice unsurprisingly cool given the wild fluctuation of her heart within her breast. I won't allow that to happen. It wouldn't be right. If one of us must remain here, then it ought to be me.
What? No, you can't mean that, Mike. Surely you jest.
No, I'm not. You know I have a terrible sense of humor, Henny. I hardly ever tell jokes. I don't have enough levity in me for them. I'm being very serious. You've always looked out for me, ever since I was small. Not that I always listened to you. Don't you remember when I stole the keys to the mausoleum? My insufferable curiosity and crept inside?
Of course I remember. You dragged me in after you, despite my warnings, and it went about as badly as I expected to.
Didn't it just? Faintly, Mike smiled, dire though their situation was, happy to share this memory with Henny. For all she knew, it might very well be the last chance to reminisce with her maid like this. Mike knew... Oh, fuck.
Mike knew not what the future held, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Like the back button.
It was good.
Lady Von Essen was in such an awful mood when she found out. It was quite frightening. I'd never seen anything like it.
Oh yes, she was fearfully cross. It's a wonder fire didn't come out of her nostrils.
I recall that she struck you, and then, when I tried to argue on your behalf, she struck me too. She struck me so hard my ears still ring from it sometimes.
God, yes, poor Hen. I felt awful about it at the time, I really did. I didn't care about my punishment. God knows I deserved it. But you'd done nothing wrong. You'd been perfectly reasonable about the whole thing. If I'd listened to you, I could have avoided the furor altogether, but I was too reckless. I ignored your wishes, but you still tried to protect me. You jumped to my defense just like a knight, and you were slapped silly for your troubles. It was horribly unfair. I've dragged you into all sorts of messes before, and you always come to my defense. You've been a wonderful friend to me throughout the years, but I can't keep relying upon you. I don't want to take advantage of your kindness.
Mike, I like it when you rely on me. Please, feel free to take advantage. That's what I'm here for.
No, I can't. It isn't right. It's long past time that I repaid you.
By offering yourself up as sacrifice in my stead? That isn't what I want. Mike, please. Henny stared at her mistress, her wide eyes entreating. I love you, but you're acting like a crazy woman.
And you are the pinnacle of rationality, you are, considering this crazy deal. That is truly insane. Don't tell me you've accepted all of this.
Of course I've not accepted it. I'm terrified, really. See how my poor hands are shaking? But one of us biting it has to be better than both of us. If I can protect you, then I must. I will. That's my job.
No, it isn't. Not any longer. I'm absolving you of your duty, Henny. This farce has lasted long enough.
What farce?
You know what I mean. Magdalena.
Yes. Have you quite finished your little quarrel? I must confess, I was beginning to feel rather left out.
My apologies. I will endeavor not to be so rude in the future to my hostess. Mike dipped her head in a gesture of esteem, one not so very dissimilar to the way Henny was bidden to bob around her mother. Mike knew she could not afford to anger Magdalena. If Mike was to save Henny, she would be obliged to beg and bow and scrape. Fortunately, begging and bowing were not beyond Mike's means. Even though she was a lady, she was no stranger to scraping either, having tearfully entreated her parents to reconsider her marriage prospects. She had failed on that score, but she didn't intend to fail now. She knew what she must say. It seemed a stretch that Magdalena would believe her, but she did. I fear you are laboring under a misapprehension, Lady Magdalena. Your reasoning is sound. There would, indeed, be a ruckus if a noblewoman was to go missing. But your application is not. I am not a lady, you see, but my companion is.
Oh? Magdalena raised an eyebrow.
I see what she's doing here.
Mm-hmm. Then you mean to say you are the maid, and this lumpen Henny here is the mistress?
That is correct, yes. I know I am dressed as a lady, albeit a disgraced one, but that was part of Lord and Lady von Essen's ruse. While traveling, they often have me dressed as a lady, while Henny, that is to say, Henrique, dressed as a maid. It was a means of subterfuge so that if our carriage were to be attacked by bandits, I am the one who would be in harm's way, rather than my mistress. Only a truly desperate bandit would rummage through the pockets of a maid, especially when she is with her lady.
What? Mike, that's... Henny began, but Mike cut her off. She was warming to her ruse, and she found she could not still her tongue, not until she had delivered her whole address.
Lady Henrique is the one who will be missed in Augsburg, not I. She has a fiancé waiting for her, you know. He is a very important man. If she doesn't arrive by the dawning of the next day, he will be certain to send out a search party for her. You would not want that, would you?
Magdalena pondered Mike's tall tale for a few moments, one gloved hand resting upon her hip. As she thought, Mike stared at her, compelling her through sheer force of will to accept her tale at face value. Mike knew that her story was patently unbelievable. She didn't need to convince a whole jury. She only needed to convince Magdalena. An age seemed to pass, during which nobody spoke, until... Oh, very well. If that is how it is, I suppose I have no choice. You may leave my abode, Lady Henrique. Here, Magdalena dropped another effusive curtsy. If that is indeed your real name.
That, funny enough, that is actually her real name.
Yeah, Henrika is her real name.
Mm-hmm.
I want to grant you a last chance to reunite with your fiancé in Augsburg, who must be awaiting you with no shortage of anticipation. Who wouldn't, after all, wish a dote upon a maiden as fair and as fine as yourself? Your surprisingly well-spoken maid, however, will be bidden to remain by my side.
But not dead. Not dead.
Maybe not dead. Not dead. Do we have a deal?
Yes, I would do anything to ensure Lady Henrique's safety.
Oh, most assuredly. You would not consent to acting as a decoy on her behalf if you didn't care. What a wonderful friendship you women have. It's quite special, really, particularly given the disparity in your social statuses. Now, come along, Lady Henrique. It was very lovely making your acquaintance, but now, I fear, I must cut our meeting short. Let me escort you to the front door. It is the least I can do for a woman of your lofty status. What? Mike, no! Henny cried, but in vain. Magdalena was soon upon her, her pale fingers winding tightly about her wrist. Mike, please stop this. Tell her the truth.
I'm sorry, Hen, but... Abashed, Mike drops her gaze to the stone floor. Though she had given her life for Henny's sake, she found she could not meet her friend's gaze as she was dragged bodily from their cell. The hurt in Henny's countenance and the betrayal stung far too much. This is how it has to be.
Says who? I was willing to go along with this woman's plan, but you scuppered it up. I don't understand you at all, Mike. Why would you tell such a tissue of lies to the old, for little old me? Magdalena, please. And he stared at Magdalena, all while trying and failing to dig her heels into the stone floor of her cell. Surely you can't believe my mistress. She's obviously lying. There's no way she isn't a lady, not with her fancy proper way of talking. She's far more, that's meant to be gentle, but genteel?
Genteel, yeah, I think so.
Okay, genteel than I could ever dream of being. Her manners are certainly more polished than your own, yes, but perhaps this comes from years of servitude? You could stand to learn a thing or two from your maid, Lady Henrique. Your fiancé won't think much of you as you are now, I'm afraid. Why, you're speaking almost like a fishwife. Now, come along. Let us not argue. You will give me a headache.
I think Magdalena is not sad to buy this ruse and be like, you want to stay? Yeah, I like you. You're staying.
Yeah, you can stay. But Mike, I can't leave her here. Let me go. Henry cried anew, squirming now, but Magdalena's hold upon him did not loosen. If anything, it seemed to grow stronger, to such a degree that Henny screamed. I still keep wanting to call her Henry.
I know.
Ow! Henny's cry echoed through the cell, more unbearable than any of those of the bandit leaders during his final moments. Magdalena had not made Henny bleed, at least, but she was gripping her wrist so tightly Mike feared she might snap it. Henny, who was short and dumpy... Dumpy? I know that's a description, but like...
I don't think that's quite the intention behind it.
I thought that the word stout would be a little bit better, but dumpy works. I think I can run with dumpy.
I mean, maybe she got that dumpy though.
Maybe she do. You do know. You know the short and stout women do tend to have big dumpies.
Thanks, Tank.
Could put up little in way of a fight. The poor maid was quite helpless before her. There was nothing which she could be done, not any longer. Henny would be to leave, while Mike would remain incarcerated in this dreary cell, alone. This was what Mike wanted. When she had spun her frankly untenable story. So why then did she feel so guilty? Let go of me! Let go, I say! Mike, please! And he continued to protest, but Magdalena remained insensible to her cries. The door of the cell closed once more with a metallic clang, and Mike was left upon the ground, pale-faced, trembling, and all alone. Oh. Forced to marry a man she doesn't love, Mike despises her future when she and her family fall afoul of bandits deep in the woods. With the help of her maid Henny, Mike was able to escape. Mike. Henny. Only to find herself captured by the mysterious vampire Magdalena. Magdalena. We also have Johanna, and I can't read that name.
Mike
Mike
fears her captor, and yet...
Yeah. I'll let you continue.
Okay. She feels safer with Magdalena than she ever did with her fiancé.
Yay!
So gay!
More gay!
All the gay!
Very gay! Cage of Roses.
I mean, the whole
We finally
exchange...
got to title screen.
Yeah, the whole exchange between her and Henny was also very gay.
Yeah, there were gay overtones all over this. I don't think we've directly had a non-gay character speaking.
We have not, no. The time passed at an agonizingly slow pace as Mike sat on the stone floor of her cell, with her legs demurely crossed. Without Henny to cheer her, the air felt colder than it had before, the shadows darker. Magdalena had taken Henny from the cell so abruptly she hadn't been afforded the chance to collect her scattered playing cards. Now, these cards were strewn upon the floor, red diamonds, red as Magdalena's eyes, and coal-black clubs. Mike caught the eye of a nearby joker, his lips pulled into an unsettling smile, and shivered. She knew she was being paranoid, but she felt almost as if the card was mocking her. Mike reached out, fingers trembling, to grab the card, then flipped it over. She did not want to look at the Joker's grinning face. She did not want to think, either, about what Henny was doing, or how she was feeling, and she certainly did not want to think of her own future. It would be easier to drive such musings from her mind, and yet... Though Mike tried to keep her thoughts placid, like the smooth surface of an untroubled lake, sinister queries, sharp-toothed like eels, writhed just beneath the surface. What would happen when Magdalena returned? Did she mean to kill Mike quickly, or would she make her suffer first? Magdalena had seemed to derive great pleasure from her torture of the bandits' leader, but she had said she did not care to harm young ladies. Had she meant it? Mike could only hope, if Magdalena did mean to kill her, she would do so quickly. She had suffered enough for one night. No, for one lifetime. Mike, despite her heroism, did not want to die. The thought terrified her. And she imagined how Magdalena might kill her. A blade to the throat, perhaps? Poison? Drowning? Strangulation? Her skin, which was now icy cold, rippled with goose flesh. She did not want to be stabbed, or poisoned, or drowned, or choked. I mean, being choked's fine.
You know, as long as you do it right, you know.
Yeah. She wanted to live. Mike had read stories of knights and their exploits. She was no chivalrous sir herself. She was a young woman, though not as her mother might have reminded her, so very young anymore. She had little experience of the world beyond her parents' home. From an early age, Mike had been taught to hold her tongue, to hold her thoughts, to be sweet and pretty and patient, and above all else, pliant. She was not supposed to think for herself, let alone stand up for
Yeah, you
herself.
can see.
It wasn't appropriate conduct for a lady. Mike had endured 25 years as such, living only to please her parents, and her parents' esteemed visitors, and, later, her parents' chosen fiancé. It had not felt like living. The only times Mike felt herself were those when she played cards with Henny, or read her books, or sat up by her window at night and stared out into the garden. Mike was 25, almost 26, but she knew nothing of the world. She knew nothing of freedom. She had never truly lived. How, then, was she supposed to die?
Also, for this time frame, being 26 and unwed is wild.
I did not expect her to be, like, that old.
I expected to be like, oh, you're getting so old at 18.
Yeah, maybe 20. I could have seen 20,
Yeah, 20,
but
again,
almost
very
26?
early. 26
Yeah.
in this like time frame, wild. I wonder what technical age, if it was 18 for Magdalena, or because, like, you know, there's usually the, like, assumed you stop aging when you turn into a vampire. If she was 18 because she was considered short, or if she's just short and around the same age, because I do appreciate a proper age Yuri.
Yeah, I think she's got to be at least 18, if not like 19 or 20, and just like small.
Yeah, she's just very petite. Which was, I was gonna give myself a vampire role specifically because they call her short.
Again, I
If you
feel
didn't have a
like that
preference.
is okay. Well, also, let's be real. The dynamic in this situation, this makes a lot more sense. Also,
Yes,
not necessarily,
dynamically, it
you
is
know.
very clear.
Who's the bottom? Yeah.
I mean, I could understand possibly, like, there being a nice back and forth, but, like, she's going to be pretending to be a maid here. She's going to be serving her. It puts on the roles for sure.
It makes the most sense. All things make the most sense this way. She could not pass on, surely, until she had at least been afforded the chance to visit some of the places she had read about in her stories. Such dreams had been all which had kept Mike going throughout her dreary days kept indoors. She had persevered, not for the sake of her present, which she had lamented, but the hopes for a better future which waited beyond the horizon. Now Mike feared she would never be able to reach that future. Her life was to be curtailed before it could truly begin. She would never see any of the world now. Paris and Venice and Rome would remain a mystery to her, exotic settings for stories, and nothing more. She had been born trapped, and now she would die. The only difference was, it was no longer her parents entrapping her, but a monster. Had her 25 years thus far been a story, Mike thought bitterly? It would have been a hopelessly dull one, full of endless waiting, but precious little doing. Waiting to live. Waiting to die. Was there any difference between those states? Really? When all was said and done? There's no point crying about it. Mike muttered this under her breath in the dark, for her own peace of mind. There's no guarantee I would have been allowed to live even if Magdalena did set me free. I would have to return to her Gerhard, and we would wed, and then I would spend the rest of my days trapped in his house. I would go from being a cloistered daughter to a cosseted wife. Is that any better, really? In Mike's eyes, it would have been nothing but another form of imprisonment. Walter had the money to travel anywhere, but whether he would be willing to expend these funds on little jaunts for his housebound bored wife was doubtful. Perhaps it was better this way. Mike had no life, she knew, waiting for her beyond the walls of Magdalena's castle. She had never been allowed to live as she wanted. That being the case, he might as well die. She had nothing left to lose. The minutes passed by, each more intolerable than the last, until Mike was alerted by the sound of footsteps. The iron door which partitioned the cell from the hall opened with a scraping squeal, and once more Magdalena entered Mike's cell.
So
Though
Magdalena had left. I'll give you a break this time.
Okay.
Though Magdalena had left an unwilling Henny in tow, she was now alone. Henny had gone. Well, well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? How fare you, my dear captive? I do apologize for the wait.
Oh, never mind about me. What about Henny? Did you set her free?
Goodness me, your loyalty towards your lady is most profound. I was certain you would be inquiring as your own fate, but no, you seem to care for you only seem to care for her. You really ought to worry about yourself more, given the circumstances. But I shall endeavor to allay your worries. I did indeed set your mistress free. I escorted her to the entrance of my home, then bid her on her merry way. One sec. Saw a message.
You're good.
Okay. Why do you ask? Do you not trust me?
You've done little to deserve it, given the way you've treated Henny and I, but, oh. I'm so glad to hear it. I can only hope that Henny will be alright on her own.
That remains to be seen. I might have set her free, but there's no guarantees she'll be able to find her way to Augustburg. Not in the dark, with all this fog. These woods are dense, and the paths are not clearly signposted. It would come as no surprise if she were to find herself lost, or else at the mercy of wild animals. The forest is fair teeming with wolves. Did you know that? Also, fun fact, for everyone who doesn't know, vampires actually were the first to shapeshift into werewolves before the whole werewolves thing was a thing. They were be able to take many forms. They were just general shifters, and then somehow it got reduced to just bats.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on which lore you're following, because sometimes they can still do that.
Yep, Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Wolves?
Oh yes. This forest is just as much their territory as it is mine, and they often come out at night to hunt. Bandits aren't the only thing fair ladies have to watch out for. But if your friend is so resourceful and luck is on her side, she should emerge from this trial unscathed. Let us hope that she'll be all right, shall we?
Mike said nothing to this, but instead dropped her gaze, her irises fixed upon her knees. Her mind turned not to her own indeterminate fate, but to Henny, who would now be staggering through the woods, wreathed in ephemeral fog. Mike saw Henny backed up against a copse of trees, their branches slender, sinister, as a pack of hungry wolves bore down upon her, their eyes glistening mad in the moonlight. This was only one possibility. Magdalena had said Henny would need luck on her side, and Henny had that in spades. Her performance in Joker is anything to be believed. She'd always been better at cards than Mike.
Now, enough about Lady Henrika. She is no longer my captive, and as such is little of interest to me. I would far rather speak to you.
To me?
Yes, indeed. I've designs on you, my loyal little serving girl. I do hope you'll make yourself useful during your stay.
Designs? Then, you mean... Mike pressed her fingers to the base of her throat. She could feel her pulse beating beneath the surface of her cool skin, as erratic as a rabbit's caught in a snare. Do you wish to drain me of my blood?
Do you want me to drain you of your blood? Magdalena tittered. How very eager you are.
It's not that. Do not misunderstand. I wish only, if you mean to kill me, that you would do so quickly. I've grown sick of waiting.
Oh yes, that look in your eyes is delectable. It may be more so, even, than your blood. You're so very defiant. What is this I spy? You appear to be shaking, my poor little Mike.
That's because of the cold.
And not because of your fright.
I was able to protect my dear friend. I've nothing to be afraid of now.
Then you care nothing for your own life?
I've never been afforded a life. You may take it if you wish. You wouldn't be the only one.
Ah, yes. That is the fate, or so I have heard, of being a servant. You poor dear. Magdalena's red eyes softened for a moment. Mike wondered whether she could not see a trace of sympathy upon her captor's fair face. Do you mean fair as in, like, pale, or do you mean, like, you find it pretty?
I think a little bit of both. A little column A, a
Maybe.
little column B.
Maybe. It lasted only a second, however, before it faded. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm afraid I can't comply with your request. For the moment, that is. I will drain you of your blood in due course, but I've no desire to do so now. Bandits I encountered earlier made for more than a satisfactory meal. I'm so glutted that I do not think I could drink another drop of blood.
Then, you mean to draw on this farce out longer still?
I'll draw it out for as long as I wish until I am sufficiently thirsty. It seems little sense in overindulging. I'm sure that your blood would taste sweeter than a bandit's, but that only makes it more imperative that I save you until I truly want you. Though it was Mike's... Oh, yeah.
Though it was Mike's death Magdalena spoke of, there seemed something sultry, seductive even, in the way she stressed her words. Mike...
Yeah, because I want you.
Yeah, it says that. Yes. Mike, who was unused to being wanted, found the blood pooling beneath her cheeks, despite the chill which clung to her. How would it feel when Magdalena brought her lips to her neck? Would it hurt? She supposed she would feel a pricking sensation as Magdalena's teeth sank into her flesh, and then...
Now, won't you come with me? You'll catch your death of cold staying inside this dreary cell, and then you'll be of no use to anybody. If I am to enjoy you properly, I would prefer to do so while your body is still warm.
What? Mike looked at Magdalena, her blue eyes uncomprehending. Are you really letting me go?
In a manner of speaking, yes. Though it'll only be transporting you from one prison to another. As your hostess, I don't believe these quarters are wholly appropriate for a long-term stay, especially not for a fair maiden such as yourself. You'll be in my abode for several days yet, I fear, until I've further need of you. Until then, I would like you to live in some measure of comfort.
Oh. Unexpected. I didn't know that you were so gracious.
I can be. I've hidden depth much like the forest that surrounds my humble abode. I do so hate to see you shiver so, and your skin is so pale, Poor dear, you and I could almost be sisters. White skin may be fitting for us vampires, but it isn't so for maidens, not even the fairest in all the land. Now please, follow me. I doubt you've any real wish to stay here languishing, unless you meant to make further martyr of yourself?
No, Mike bit her lower lip. She was loath to accept kindness from Magdalena, but she did raise a fair point. Cold in her cell, and miserable alongside it. If she remained there overnight, it did not seem impossible that the blood in her veins really might freeze. Mike had already given up on her own life. Did not want to die as a stray dog, racked with shivers. If that is what you want from me, then I have no reason to refuse.
How very biddable you are. The words which come from your mouth might be stubborn, but it seems you've experience when it comes to following orders.
Of course I do. I'm a maid, like I said.
Ah yes, so you did. That would explain your servility. Part of me was hoping you might refuse, that I would be bidden to carry you.
Oh no! My legs don't work suddenly! Oh!
I'm suddenly, oh no, I'm suddenly so weak. I don't think I can stand.
Oh, I have fallen and I cannot get up. Whatever shall I do?
But this is fine too. It spares me the effort. Shall we?
Please, lead the way. Mike dropped Magdalena a curtsy, this time taking her dirtied skirts between her fingers, the pads of which had turned pink from the cold.
Magdalena smiled at this display. For a prisoner, you're awfully cheeky. Then turned upon her heel after bidding Mike to follow.
Naturally, Mike obeyed. She could see she had little choice in the matter.
Magdalena led Mike down a twisting hallway packed full of cells identical to the one Mike and Henny had been imprisoned in.
Mike tried not to peer into these cells as she passed them, but curiosity soon overcame her, and she found her head swiveling. She feared, as she stared through the darkness, that she might encounter sights more horrific than she was capable of comprehending. Rusted torture instruments, perhaps, or dead bodies. But it was so very dark in the bowels of Magdalena's home that Mike could scarcely see anything. Not even the moonlight, which spilled intermittently through the barred windows, could fully illuminate the sprawling prison complex. This, Mike supposed, tearing her eyes away from one of those cells as she passed it, was probably a good thing. She had witnessed enough horrors for one night.
Magdalena eventually brought Mike to the foot of a staircase, which led up from her subterranean cells. Careful. Magdalena cautioned Mike before they began their ascent. These steps are steep and slippery too. If you fall, you may break your neck.
Had Mike been less nervous, she might have laughed to hear her jailers fuss over her so. A broken neck didn't seem like so very cruel a fate when compared to Magdalena's designs upon her. Perhaps it would be quicker to die thus, rather than having her blood drained. At the very least, it would be a swifter demise than freezing in her prison cell. Mike felt little in the way of humor, however, as she took the chill banister beneath her hand and began to climb. She could recognize the irony in Magdalena's warning, though only vaguely. Her mouth felt hewn in a permanent line, as though carved from stone, her brow furrowed. It seemed unlikely she would ever smile again. The chill from the basement faded as Mike cleared the final step of the twisting staircase, to emerge in a spacious hallway lined with arched windows. The hallway was not so very dissimilar to the decor in her parents' home, though it was less ornate, the furnishings worn down by old age. It was apparent that Magdalene...
Oh yeah, you was. I'm trying
I
to
mean, it
guess
doesn't-
perspective.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You did a lot. You have had a lot of dialogue though, so I was
Okay. If you wish
trying
to,
to-
if you wish to take it, I will not take it from you. But if you need a break, let me know.
Yeah. It was apparent that Magdalena's home had once been noble, but had clearly fallen into rot and ruin, its heyday long since past. The air on the ground floor smelled almost as rank as that in the dungeon, and every conceivable surface was heaped with inches of dust. There was so much dust, in fact, that Mike could feel it in the air when she inhaled. The dust irritated her eyes and nose, and laid heavily, unpleasantly upon her tongue. Mike swallowed, hoping to void her mouth of the taste of decay, but in vain. The dust was so thick she sneezed, which prompted Magdalena to say,
Bless you.
"Thank you," Mike replied, abashed, and then, "I thought you did not care for God or his teachings."
I don't, but I presume that you do. I thought you might appreciate it.
"I see. How thoughtful of you."
I know. For a vampire, I'm unusually sensitive.
Mute with fatigue, Mike continued to follow Magdalena to the end of the hall, wherein a wooden door was inlaid.
Magdalena seized the brass handle and twisted it, then pushed it ajar. It stuck for a few moments, though unwilling to move, but soon shifted, creaking as it did so.
When the door swung back, it was to reveal a vast, spacious room with a ceiling so cavernous Mike had to crane her neck to see it. Welcome back, mutants. A large, ornate staircase was set in the center of the room, which rose to a floor above it, the banisters made of wrought iron. This, Mike supposed, must have been the entrance hall. It had clearly been designed to impress, for its vastness was almost dizzying. Thank you for the rubs.
I think you missed something. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Alright, you wanna do that before we take ad break?
Sure. We'll do that before we take ads, and then we'll continue up Magdalena's lovely house when we return.
I
So-
mean, if you want to deny it, mutant, you
You
can.
can say
know
no.
that.
It is up to
If-
your comfortability.
If brain is not braining, it's okay. Well, no, I mean you can, but okay. If that's the case, then you are an absolutely adorable pet, mutant. You're such a good pet, aren't you?
You are such a good, darling pet for us. You'd stay here with us, wouldn't you? You would let us keep you as prisoner. Let us be darling, darling mistresses for you. Your lovely, lovely pet staying right by our sides. Such a good pet.
And with that, we will go for ads. We're gonna go a little bit longer tonight. I'm having a very nice time with Maeve and don't want to stop. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Stretch, grab a drink, grab a snack. Whatever you need to do, take meds. Take meds.
Meds are important. Meds are
Take
important.
meds. We see you all soon.
water. Take a good sip.
I did. I took several sips over ad breaks, which you were a very good girl
Hooray.
for taking your meds. Good job.
Very good.
Alright. Magdalena's home. Could it really be a castle? Was larger even than Mike's, and vast enough to be unnerving. Trapped within this scene of spoiled luxury, Mike felt smaller than ever before, a tiny doll rather than a grown woman, rattling about in a playhouse. The entrance hall must have been a fine one, but it showed clear signs of deterioration. Hey, Switch,
Meds
I
matter
don't...
most. It doesn't matter the time. Just if you're taking your meds, good.
And I won't judge anyone's sleep schedule.
Yeah.
I trust you to be as responsible as you need to be.
I didn't take
And
this morning, but I did take every
I
day.
I am regularly going to bed between 2 and 3. So I think you're fine. Unless you be up at like
Girl.
5 in the morning. In which case, like, I don't know. I don't know your life. I trust you.
The only time I'm careful about meds, about like the time I take them, is like my ADHD meds, because I don't need to be wired before bed. I think that's plainly like if it's past midday, I think I can function without those.
That is reasonable. The entrance hall must have been fine once, but it showed clear signs of deterioration. The dust was so profuse that it made Mike's eyes water, and several of the stone steps which led upwards were cracked and chipped. A grand piano could be found in one corner of the room, but its lid was shut, and Mike doubted it had been played, if it could still be played, in decades. Yeah, you and I've had the same thing happen. Being up until like 7, and then you fall asleep.
That's it.
Finally,
Yeah, if I fall asleep by 7, I regret it. So usually if it hits 6 a.m., I'm like, I don't think I'm sleeping.
I usually will try to like sleep till noon and be like, okay, I got 5 hours, I'm good, let's go.
Fair.
Again, Switch, I trust you to be as responsible as you need to be. If you feel like you can function on whatever amount of sleep you're gonna get, that's what matters. There was a chandelier in the entrance hall, hanging aloft from the high ceiling. But when Mike craned her neck upwards, she could see, even in the dark, that it was festooned with spider webs. The house might have been grand once, but it was not so now.
So I just have a question. Dust is human
Yeah.
skin. Is she shedding this skin, or has she had other humans she's wandered around here? Because surprisingly, most of these places, like, you'll have like rubble dust if things have collapsed, but often you don't actually get dust.
I'm guessing it's a culmination of like some like wear on the stone, and then she did say that there had been other humans who had come in here, like
at least 200 to
300,
300, but
yeah.
I don't
and
know
then
if they
also,
really made it this far up though.
But also too, like, does she open the windows at night or doors and things like breezes can bring in like dirt and stuff from outside, which can like mix in with the rubble and then create dust-looking things. Like maybe it's not specifically dust, but you know, it could still be a swirl of things. But also Switch. Again, I fully trust that you will be responsible with yourself and make sure that you get whatever amount of rest you need to be functional tomorrow. Because that helps to keep things more manageable when we're not exhausted, you know? And I know you do your best. And that's great, and that's all anyone can ask of you. I'm so proud of you for doing that. Because sometimes it's really hard. You're doing great. Because you are great. Mwah! It seemed a wonder, really, that it still stood, when clearly it was uncared for. Your servants don't seem to be working very hard. Mike spoke lightly, her voice swallowed by empty air. Perhaps
Oh, sorry, that is you. I thought it was Magdalena for some reason.
It's okay. I mean, both names start with M too, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Perhaps you ought to see to hiring new staff. My mistress would never permit. Mike brought her hand to the banister of the grand staircase and drew it back, wincing. The pads of her thumb and index finger were fuzzy with dust. This.
Oh. Magdalena, who had already begun to ascend the staircase, turned to Mike and smiled. Are you judging my home, Mike?
I would never presume to be so rude. I just thought it might feel more homey, that's all, if it were less
Less of a pile. Magdalena laughed and shook her head. You are quite right, of course, to judge. Please, judge away to your heart's content. I have never been a fan of this place myself. Its scale is too grandiose, even for my liking. My great-grandfather, it was he who had this place built, had more money than sense, and absolutely no taste to back it up. Have a good night, Switch!
Good night, go get good rest.
Also, yeah, for sure, just dissing your grandfather. Or great-grandfather, even. Just,
Yeah.
nah, he had no taste.
No.
A house has
terrible.
no need to be this large. Like, you don't need a basketball court in your house like some people have nowadays.
You really don't.
Like, I can understand having, like, maybe, like, a half court outside because you want to play often with your friends, but you don't need a basketball court in your house.
Or a whole ass movie theater.
I mean, there's nods to having a theater room or, like, a media room kind of thing, but, like, you don't
said a
need to get
whole
a
ass
whole
theater.
size. Yeah.
Take over a stretch and
Yes,
hydrate.
yes, we shall hydrate. Ah, good crack in the center of my back. But there was land enough for it, and money too. And a man with land and money and means will often think, well, why not? Practicality matters little in decisions of great men, and neither do my unending woe does aesthetic sense.
I can believe that. My own father, my master, rather. BK's face flushed at this gaffe, the tips of her ears turning pink. Half filled my own residence with pointless baubles. They were all very expensive, but not particularly cohesive. The parlor looked like a museum once he was through with it. It hardly seemed like a place to sit and relax. Witch has gone to bed, Frisk.
Yeah, you either gotta pick that for yourself, we could refund you, or pick a new target.
Yep. A little too late.
Well, what fantastic timing! With this community, do you expect anything less, Mutant? You participate in this community.
You do. And you dole out your fair share as well. After all, you are just the cutest puppy, aren't you, Mutant? Such a good, sweet puppy.
Such a sweet, sweet, darling puppy boy for us. Back to bed I go. I love that people wake up just to do that to other people. It's funny.
Yeah, good eves, Frisk, and yes, Mutant. I agree. I'll love our communities as well.
For sure, for sure.
I'm glad it's been soothing for you, Frisk.
I'm glad we can help you enjoy. Hopefully good dreams.
I was too afraid to spend any measure of time in there in case I broke something. The double punch into the fluster zone.
Then it seems we have something in common. I found this place dismal even when my family was alive. We had a legion of maids back then to keep everything spick and span. They keep the dust and cobwebs at bay, bless their hearts, but they couldn't combat the loneliness. Now my family is dead, and all of our maids along with them. Can hardly take on new hires, being what I am, so my home is rather left to go to ruin. I clean what I can, but there's so very much house to clean, and only one of me. It's quite an overwhelming challenge. My attempts at cleaning have fallen quite by the wayside during the last half-century. I hope you can forgive my slovenliness.
Slovenliness.
Slovenliness. I'm like, oh, what words? Slovenliness.
Oh, no. It's fine. I understand. Thank you for the cream pie mutants. Have been pied.
Very pied. You look beautiful that way. You're so kind. Magdalena's red eyes softened, as they had back in the dungeon, with something akin to sympathy. But before Mike could ponder this, her jailer turned. Oh, listen to me prattle on. It's most inconsiderate of me, especially when you must be tired. Let us make haste to your room.
Mike followed behind Magdalena as a puppy might, almost grateful for her to be almost grateful to her for the promise of a room and of a bed. It was as Magdalena said.
You are such a good pet, aren't you, Val? Look, it mentioned puppy. I know you don't like puppy, but I had to at least mention pet.
I know. It was okay. It was as Magdalena said. She really did feel tired. She was more than ready to lie down beneath warm covers, or even lukewarm covers, and sleep. Anything would have been better than the stone floor upon which she had been lying. Mike yawned, her eyes blossoming with tears anew, while pressing her right hand, fingertips still flecked with dust, instinctively to her mouth. Oh? But half asleep though she was, Mike's senses were alert enough for her to detect a sudden noise. There came, through the yawning gulf of the entrance hall, a sound not dissimilar to that Mike had heard in the dungeon. It was a scream. Or was it? Mike was unsure. The scream was fainter than the one she had detected in the dungeon, and seemed to emit not from the ground under which the cells lay, but above her head. Was there another person concealed in Magdalena's abode? Somebody other than herself? Was it another captive, kept separate from the rest? Was it Henny? Magdalena?
Lena, please. Magdalena is quite the mouthful. I'd rather you use a nickname, as you did with your mistress.
Mike wished to contest this. Her relationship with Magdalena was not close enough to allow the use of nicknames, but she felt too tired to engage in an argument. What did it matter, really, how she addressed Magdalena, when she soon would be dead? Lena, then. What was that noise I just heard?
What noise?
You didn't hear it? Mike stared at Magdalena, her expression one of patent disbelief. It wasn't very loud, I'll grant you, but it was unmistakable, I swear. It sounded just like a scream.
A scream,
You na stinky.
Magdalena pondered, one hand beneath her chin.
Never gonna
Such
give
sounds are not
you
unheard of
up,
in my abode.
never
when I'm
gonna let
attending to a
you
prisoner.
down. Never gonna run around and
Mike
die,
shivered.
die.
But there is nobody here now except for you and me. Nobody living, at least.
Then, it's not the imprisoned bandit?
Certainly not. He will not make a peep again. I made sure of that with my own 2 hands. It would be hard for him to speak with half his throat torn out, you see.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yep.
Oh. Mike pressed a hand to her own throat as if to check its integrity, and as she did so, choked. The air was so thick with dust it was hard to breathe.
Now, dear, worry not. It was not your mistress who screamed thus, if that's what you are wondering. I am a woman of my word, and I promise I let her go. She is quite... well... She's not necessarily alright, but she's away from me, and there's a possibility that she might live to see another dawn.
Then who screamed? What was that sound?
It must have been your imagination. You have overexerted yourself after all this night's events. Anybody would be exhausted in your situation.
It didn't feel like a dream, though.
No? Magdalena shrugged in a manner which did not seem quite in keeping with her aristocratic bearing. I suppose it must have been the wind then. It's very drafty in here.
Thank you.
Draughty
for the
in here.
rubs. The wind do be doing weird things, don't it?
Yeah, you know, that wild wind.
Doing up to all sorts of things. Is that all?
Well, that's all it could have been, unless you mean to suggest that that the dead can speak. Magdalena's red eyes bored into Mike. I keep wanting to say Makey. Mike. So intense Mike feared that they would consume her.
Unsettled,
Mike glanced away.
No, I wasn't
ahead.
suggesting that. This is definitely.
Sorry.
This definitely has to be 1800s.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with things losing their mind at the drop of a hat. Yeah, I'm doing. Sorry, Sebkin looking for garbage.
It's okay.
Good. I know it is expected for women to lose their minds at the drop of a hat, but I've grown quite sick of being regarded as such a weaker sex. I am pleasured in seeing you're doing your level best not to let us down. Why, you haven't swooned even once, which is more than most men can say when I bring them here, and it's really quite commendable.
Almost swooned. Entirely
No, maybe.
intentionally.
You might swoon, though, from lack of sleep if we continue to tarry. Let us be off. We shall never make it to our destination.
Mike nodded, then followed along behind her hosts anew. She could no longer hear the scream, but its memory haunted her all the same. The cry she had heard, though briefly, had not sounded like the breeze, regardless of what Magdalena had said. Mike was certain that the sound had belonged to a person, but why would Magdalena lie about such a thing? It was impossible to say.
Here we are. Home sweet home. So?
Maeve has been redeemed for you.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
What would you like? I do my best.
Could I get a live puppy just this once?
Yeah. No, what do you... I mean, you just gotta ask. Not just once. Well, of course. Because me, you are absolutely the best puppy, aren't you? Such a wonderful, amazing, adorable puppy. And I love you so much. Here you go.
Okay, I can breathe now.
Okay, I'm glad.
Magdalena looked at Mike, an amused smile playing about her lips. What do you think?
Nike examined the room mutely, her hands folded at her front. The chamber Magdalena had brought her to was dark, lit only by a pair of candles on either side of the bed. Mike could see, despite the darkness, that it was every bit as derelict as the rest of Magdalena's home. However, and even if she hadn't been able to see it, she would have been able to smell it. The air was fusty. Fusty? I've never heard of fusty!
I think they may have meant dusty. I saw the word hewn, and I think they meant sewn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are further apart, so maybe hewn was a real word, but I think they may have left a few typos in here.
Yeah. As though it had been left to circulate inside the room for years upon end. Which it most likely had. Or musty, even? Could have been musty.
Maybe a musty, but dusty and D and F are rather close together. Hewn, I assumed was hewn, because again, not close to any other letter I could have thought of.
Okay, good night, mutant. I hope you get good eeps. Take care.
Rest well.
Every surface.
Remember, anything you
meanwhile.
miss shall be on YouTube after this, hopefully.
Yes, it should be. Fingers crossed.
There should be no issues here.
The sheets upon the bed, though neatly made, were holy with age, and with insects, as was the carpet upon the floor. It was a sad room which had been ignorant of human occupation for years, but was still a superior set of lodgings to those in which Mike had awoken. At least, this room had a bed, a four-poster one no less, like the one at Mike's home, the mattress and sheets upon which Mike could rest her weary limbs. The bedchamber had a wardrobe, too, though Mike possessed nothing to store in it save for the tattered clothes upon her own back. There was a writing desk upon which lay a basin for washing, and a chamber pot for more delicate business beneath. This pot was, thankfully, far cleaner than the one Mike had found in the dungeon. Though white and spotless, she imagined it unused. The desk faced a large window, which was currently obscured by a set of dark blue curtains. Mike could not see beyond this window, though she doubted she would have been afforded much of a view even if she'd drawn the curtains back. It was very late, after all. It was not as cold in this room as it was in the underground cells, but it wasn't warm either. The wind crept in through the fine cracks of the aged window to toy with the reddish-orange flames on the two lit candles. To toy, too, with Mike's hair and the hem of her dress. She shivered.
Do you not have a tongue in your head? Magdalena needled Mike, who had yet to speak. Don't tell me that you've come over all shy. I brought you to this room solely so that you might sleep. I have no wicked design on your innocence, regardless of how pretty you are. I only want your blood, not your body, but I think we might change that.
Are you sure? Are you sure about
sure?
that? Because, like, you could have both. You could have both.
You know, I think Magdalena may be a vampire that hasn't heard of the word thrall before.
I think so. I beg your pardon? Mike blinked at Magdalena, uncomprehending. What designs are you speaking of?
You cannot tell?
I'm sure I have no idea.
None whatsoever. You sure you ain't gay?
None at all. I'm wholly ignorant of such affairs.
Goodness me. Magdalena rolled her red eyes upwards to the ceiling, which seemed to sag beneath its own weight. I can't tell whether you're being dense on purpose or whether you really are that innocent. Did your mother never teach you what men and women do in chambers such as this, and maybe two women, or two men, or two non-binaries, or any other mix?
Two people? Two consenting adults?
Two consenting adults?
My mother did not, no. She thought such topics beneath her. That was my governess's job, although I don't think I would care to do much of anything in a chamber like this one. It smells like the grave.
Tut tut. You're being rather rude about my home, you know. Here I am, trying to be a good hostess, and you throw my kindness back in my face.
I know you do not like your home much either. You told me.
Touché. I did try to pick out one of the pleasanter rooms for you, but there are so very many of them that it is difficult to keep abreast of all of them. I rarely have visitors over, and when I do, they all get thrown into the dungeon. There seemed little point, therefore, in keeping these rooms spick and span.
You do have bugs in the carpet and the bed. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. I hope you can forgive me of all the dust and general disuse.
Oh, I don't know more to take issue with than that.
Yes, I suppose you do. You do have quite the bone to pick with me.
Maybe I do, but not right now. I'm too tired.
Yes, you do look it. Your face is frightfully pale. I think a good night's sleep is what the doctor ordered, provided you are able to rest, that is.
That would be nice, but... Mike let her fingers trail along the brocade covers of the bed, her expression pensive. What did you mean earlier when you said you no designs on my innocence?
Dear me, I thought that you were joking. But I can see that you're in no fit state for it.
I don't tell jokes. I have little to laugh about.
You have even less to laugh about now, you poor dear. Magdalena cleared her throat. I mean only to say that I would not do unto you as a man might, regardless of our surroundings. I've no nefarious intentions. Of that you can be assured. Consent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Mike
vampire,
thought-
but consent.
Consent is always important and necessary. Mike thought of her governess's explanation of sex, and of Walter's expectations come their wedding night, blushed. The sudden rush of blood beneath her cheeks enticed Magdalena in a way. Oh, no, this is you.
If the sudden rush of blood beneath her cheeks enticed Magdalena in any way, she did not show it, though her fingers did twitch in their tight, constricting gloves. Oh yeah, tell me more about those gloves.
I don't understand. I know what men and women do behind closed doors, but how could two women set about something similar? It's not possible.
You think so?
Oh, it is very possible.
Mm.
I know so. My governess explained everything to me in great detail. When one wishes to make a baby, well, two women cannot do that. There would be no sense to it. It doesn't need to be for baby making!
It doesn't need to be for baby making.
You think people ought to do things only because they make sense? That is quite narrow-minded.
Just quite straight up the vampire being like, y'all queer phobic around here? Stop it.
But people are often uneducated in such affairs, both in my time and your own. In some ways, the world has changed a great deal, yet in others... Well, never mind. I can only see I'm confusing you. You're so very innocent, it hurts. Perhaps it is to be expected, though. Ladies ought not to know such things. They are born and bred to be ignorant.
What? Mike had not understood the full implications of Magdalena's previous lament, but she understood well enough what she meant by this. Why would you call me that? I've already told you I'm not a lady.
Lady Henrique's faithful servant? Yes, you did say.
She did slip up and say that she was taught by her governess.
Yeah.
And that's true. She's the lady, not I.
You did labor the point quite intensely. Yes, back in the cells, you were so fervent about it, you almost had me fooled. She just wanted to keep her.
Mm-hmm.
At least you would have if you weren't such a terrible actress.
What?
Oh, don't what me. It's quite tiresome. Did you think I'd fail to notice all of your fancy turn of phrases? Your vocabulary is that of a well-to-do young madam, not a maid, not even a lady's maid. You wear that scrumptious dress of yours so easily, dirty though it is, and your bearing is definitively regal. You could never hope to pass as a common serving girl, not in a month of Sundays. I am not stupid.
Then Mike sank down on the bed, which creaked beneath her as if in warning. Her palms were pressed to the mattress to support her weight, which all of a sudden felt excessive, and her heart was pounding like a drum. You knew I was lying from the beginning?
Indeed I did. It was very obvious. I can tell you have no practice in deceit, Mike. You're much too sweet for it.
But if you knew I was lying, why did you agree to let Henny go? Herr Gerhard wouldn't lift a finger to aid Henny if she disappeared, but he will surely come looking for me.
Herr Geralt, is that the name of your fiancé?
Yes, it is.
And you don't refer to him by his Christian name?
That is,
Dear me, you mustn't be very close to that man. Why, you make him sound like a stranger. Do you truly wish to marry him?
I hadn't any choice. My parents.
Ah, yes. It was silly of me to ask. That is how it always goes, isn't it? And now what of your fiancé? Does he know of you well enough to try and rescue you?
I think he might. Mike swallowed, tasting dust on her tongue. He is an important businessman. He takes exacting care over his investments, or so I've heard. I imagine it would be the same for me, too. I am a Von Essen, after all. There would be a lot of prestige in wedding me.
So that's how he regards you, as a profitable purchase?
I cannot say. After all, I
Hardly know him and therefore cannot judge how he sees you? Does that sum it up?
It is not entirely inaccurate, no.
What a woeful statement of affairs this is. It sounds like you would be wretched whether you were in my home or out of it, particularly if the latter would entail being this Herr Gerhardt's side. Perhaps I did you a favor by bringing you here?
Mike did not reply to this. She did not want to give Magdalena the satisfaction.
Well, never mind all that. Your fiancé can try to look for you if he likes. I do not care. I doubt he will be able to best me.
But you said you wished to avoid all that.
Did I really?
Yes, you did. That was why you proposed letting me go.
Oh yes, good memory. It would seem that the cold hasn't eaten away all of your faculties. Not just yet, at least. As for why I changed my mind, well, that needn't concern you.
But this is about me. Surely it must concern me.
There was no real reason behind it. It was nothing more than an act of whimsy on my behalf. I am very whimsical.
Yeah.
If you truly want to know why, I went along with your
Chicanery?
Chicanery.
That's how you spell it. Yeah,
Then-
it's weird.
Let's say that I felt very touched when you offered to throw your life away for the sake of your maid. Few mistresses would have been capable of such compassion. It was truly remarkable. I didn't want your efforts to be in vain, that's all.
And you're prepared to put yourself in danger for that.
I won't be in any danger. I'm a vampire. I can shatter rib cages with a single touch.
How oddly specific.
Or thereabouts, at least. Now you really must get some sleep. It would be much better for you than asking all of these silly questions.
But I have nothing to change into. What will I sleep in?
I considered as much and took the liberty of stocking these drawers with some of my own clothes before I fetched you. You should find that they fit, more or less, and they're clean, which is more than can be said for the rest of the linens in this place.
Oh, we're sharing clothes now.
You know, just casual girl stuff. There are books on the shelves too, which you may read. I drew up a basin of water for you to wash yourself up in upon waking. You could find no better amenities in any inn. I do hope you have a pleasant night and sweet dreams. Magdalena smiled sardonically, then dropped Mike another curtsy. Just try not to breathe through your nose if the smell bothers you. I wouldn't want you to spend the night coughing. A fair lady such as you needs her sleep. Laughing to herself, Magdalena straightened, then turned. She departed, her long cloak trailing again against the age-spotted carpet, and shut the door behind her.
Mike waited until she heard Magdalena's footsteps fade, then rose once more to her feet. She crossed the room, her legs trembling, and seized the doorknob between her fingers, but it stubbornly refused to budge. The door was locked. Well, of course it is. What did I expect?
Hey, I'm not a dumb vampire.
Defeated, Mike returned to the bed. Weary from all that had happened, she collapsed upon it, her loose hair strewn in spirals across the sheets. Mike stared up at the ceiling, which was drenched in darkness, and softly muttered, "What am I going to do now?" Mike's questions, of course, fell upon deaf ears. There was nobody to hear her. She was all alone.
Oh, there's the picture.
Yeah, there it is.
I totally couldn't tell, in case anyone is listening and wants to know there is an adult patch for this game, that this would be an adult scene. Nope, not at all. They're very, very innocent.
Mike tossed and turned uneasily that night in a bed which smelt of disuse and decay. The bed was more comfortable than the cell in which she had been held, but it was almost as cold, its thin sheets eaten away by old age and insects. At least the dungeon, with its sole wooden cot and its solitary window, was supposed to be inhospitable. This bedroom, meanwhile, was a different matter. It was richly furnished, but all of its decorations had since been ravaged by time's unrepentant advances. The men and women who must have stayed in this room once, more than a century ago, would surely be dead now. In that sense, the room felt akin to a crypt. Did that make the bed a sarcophagus? Mike, a corpse? Magdalena had spared Mike's life for the present, but Mike doubted that she would be so fortunate in the future. Magdalena was not, Mike reminded herself, a human, but a vampire. She meant to suck Mike of her blood, and when she did, Mike would lose her life. Just as this room's previous inhabitants.
Before the word blood. Yep, that's all we'll say.
Yep. Magdalena's home was so decrepit it seemed unfathomable that life could flourish within its walls. Not so very different, really, from the Von Essen mausoleum. The air even smelt the same. It smelt of death. No matter how Mike tried, she could not get comfortable. All the while she tried to sleep, she heard the wind howling outside, creeping stealthily like black-cloaked thieves through the cracks in the glass panes. Welcome back, Demon Goddess!
Welcome back.
Mike's bare toes curled against the mattress. Anxiously, she shuddered. Yes,
Yep,
this
very beautiful art.
is lovely. Truly lovely. What was to become of her now?
We read the
Alright.
first act. I think that's a beautiful place to stop.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a good place. I didn't save though. Oh no.
Wait, we can wait till here because once we get a thing, you'll be able to save. There we go.
Perfect. Okay. Excellent.
We'll just save right here and we'll read when we start next.
Yes.
Sorry that you come back to us ending, but we have been going for near 4 hours at this point.
Yeah, almost 4 hours. Usually I don't go that long on weekdays because work makes me exhausted. We're gonna pop over here. For end and finding somebody to raid. Thank you so much for joining me, Maeve.
Of course. I think I know at least maybe 2 people who are still on.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I genuinely usually don't stream this late on Mondays. But it's so good. It's so good. I strongly recommend checking it out. I've got the itch.io link pinned if you wanna experience it for yourself.
It is also on Steam if that is your preferred platform, but the Steam one I believe has issues or is not necessarily as compliant with the adult features if you did want to see those.
So actually, if you, because I bought it through itch.io, but it gives you a Steam key if you want to activate it on Steam, as well as you can download stuff. And Steam does have the DLC for adult things. I just didn't get those because I knew I'd be streaming it, and I didn't want that. Especially because it's not just like a flash scene, right? Like it's splash art, and then you sit there for a while, and like I don't think I can have that up on the screen for that long.
Yeah, like again, the front video shows very like, especially the current like scene we had just been on. I imagine that would have been full tits out.
Yeah, probably.
And I think Twitch might have been a little mad about it.
Yeah, that doesn't fly here. But I will be back continuing with Pride collabs on Thursday with Moku the Spirit for Not So Say So, where we will be talking about all things queer, gender identity, sexuality, sex as various gendered expressions, and with others of various gender expressions, and just having a good old gay time.
Is his name with a VT at the end? Or is it just Mokuzai?
He's now Moku the Spirit.
Moku the underscores?
No.
Okay.
Nietzsche's? No, Nietzsche's not. There's Nietzsche. Hello.
Oh, there's Nietzsche.
I did see a Nietzsche. Still streaming.
I did see a Nietzsche, but I think he may have just ended. Or he is on currently. I think someone might be checking in. Please don't. We're about to leave ourselves.
Alright. I'm gonna do blah. You just finished?
Okay, yeah. I was eyeing you or Kit Kat as my possible suggestions from our lovely collection of people.
Yeah, we're gonna go read the Kit Kat. We can go read Kit Kat. Yes, we are finishing up. It went a little longer than normal. Wait, hang on. Cancel. I did the wrong Kit Kat.
Oh yeah, you didn't get the whole name.
Mage 0.01. Okay, there we go. There, that's right. That's right. I got it. I figured out the problem. I got the problem.
Oh yeah. Also, Vel, for your raid messages, we can see about setting it up for Mix It Up so that you don't have to copy and paste it because you can have it just send from yourself.
Yeah, that might be better. I'll work on that.
We'll
we got 2 raid messages. One for if you get the sub emails. One for if you don't, because all plushies need to be accounted for in the plushie raid. I love and appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you take care of yourselves, and we will see you all later. Bye. Bye bye bye.